justice in the name of our King.
Restore your dead to life, but perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our King.
We are live. We are live. I think we're live.
What's happening, guys?
Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? What's going on?
Week.
Welcome back to the stream, the weekly stream. Today's episode is brought to you by Vagisil, by the way. So thank you to our sponsors, Vagisil, because it will put another 2 to 3 inches drop on your curveball.
Oh,
So thank you to Vagisil for sponsoring today's video.
thank you so much. There'll be a demonstration shortly.
Jesus Christ.
Look at that live counter.
Oh, we got a live count. Look, we're about to hit 68,000.
That's exciting.
Oh man, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I got it up there. We got the sub drive going. We got to get to 100K.
Let's do this.
Um,
Got possessed by Tony.
Hello. Sorry about the whole Vagisil thing. I don't know where that came from. Sorry.
If you pull out of a box.
And no, we're gonna do that one of these days. 68K. Look at there.
We hit it.
Look, we hit it, and I didn't even see anything pop up at all. Thank you, Andrew Hutton, for subbing earlier, and Eric Bowles as well. But I didn't see that one pop up. I saw. I mean, it's live, so maybe it'll get. Oh, look, we dropped back down.
What the hell?
We dropped back down. We lost one.
That's jacked up, man.
It always happens during live streams, though.
Right before the balloons of confetti fell.
Yeah. Yes. Hello, Jake from State Farm. What's up, man? Hey, I want that shit, man. He's 3D printing stuff, man, and showed me on Twitter that he just did Drogon. Man, I want that shit. I want a 3D printer now. Very cool, Jake, man.
Oh,
Evan Roy, hello. Scott McCloy, hello. Meg Paul.
68K. Woo!
Meg Paul said, did they just say Vagisil? Yes, today's video is brought to you by Vagisil. It will give you 2 to 3 inches drop on your curveball.
Yes,
that's
will.
all we're saying, Meg. Thank you, Donald Parker, for subbing. Donald Parker is 68,000.
Awesome. It's back down.
And it went back down. And we'll see if that'll pop back up. That's behind a little bit, so I don't know exactly where it's at. That's the delayed.
That's right.
Rod Dammit, hello. Joy Props, hello. The Imagination Realm, hello. Steph Snow, Ryan Metters.
Is Hugh Janus in the house?
Yeah. Exactly.
He was here last week.
Jake Dauld, Jessica Estes, Queen Crystal. Get one there affordable, says Jake from State Farm. Yeah, they are. It looks really cool, man. Melanie Missile, yo. Watch, hello. Gino. Monkey Mail Dog. Taryn, thank you, by the way, Taryn. I just saw Taryn upped her pledge on Patreon to executive producer level, so thank you so much.
That's so cool,
The real mother of Dragon. Hoon Jobs in the house. Hoon Jobs doing the Twitch emote, Sun Drop emote, Bob Ross emote, Proto Sack, the chat is a ladder. Christian Oles, what's up, man? TJ71, there's K-Dubs. Goonish Tendencies, Antique Gamer, Ruthless Lieutenant, Herb Coswell's in the house.
Herb.
Ariel Lopez, Red Sweats, Martingus, Marty, O'Hara Young, Iceblade Films.
You see Doc's coming in?
Doc, you bastard. He unsubscribes. He probably did just to see it tick.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I see 68001 now. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Hey, just 32,000 to go, and we'll hit it, man. 32,000 to go. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it. Protostar, that's right. Protostar for 68K. And
I'm wearing the Proto Stark shirt tonight.
he is, and actually drinking it.
And there's some alcohol in here.
Speaking of shirts, I do have this new shirt here, if you'll notice. I don't know if you can see that good. This will be
Love that.
The ProtoCon, or very similar, I should say. Speaking of ProtoCon, this will be the ProtoCon
I like it a lot.
t-shirt. Very similar, except they'll have ProtoCon and stuff on the back and everything else. But these are now available in the Teespring store. We will have a ProtoCon t-shirt very similar to this, and it will have some other stuff on the back as well. But I wanted to put these out there to show you guys. So anyway, that is now available in the Teespring store.
I'm getting amped for ProtoCon.
Yeah, we got to get it going. It's in August, so if you like, Nightbot's spitting it out right now. If you type in like Hoonjob just did, ! ProtoCon altogether, that's a command. Nightbot will give you the Eventbrite page.
I love
Anyway,
technology.
Mr. Shoon, there's Mr. Shoon. A Ron.
Mr. Shoon.
Mod Mary 1, thank you. Kenny Hodges, hello. Kenny Hodges, heard Val was going to live stream with y'all. I would love to see that. She can come on here anytime, but she's editing right now, Kenny. We're ready to release our next video. She's putting the final touches on hers, so that should be tomorrow. We were trying to shoot for tonight, possibly wasn't really sure, so we'll just wait for tomorrow.
Well, we got 305 in the house, man.
All right. So before we get into your questions, we're going to quickly go over how this whole thing ends for the Boston University thing. The Boston University virtual season. Anybody new here? This will be the last week for this because this is the finale.
This is it.
So Boston University did a full class on Game of Thrones and TV writing, and some pretty cool project they did here.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of students got together in this class and wrote a script for 6 episodes of the final season. So they call it the virtual final season. So this is not spoilers. This is all based off just what's out. Their writing. They did use YouTubers and their own knowledge of A Song of Ice and Fire to come up with all this. So I know a lot of people come in here when I'm talking about these in the middle of it and say, "Oh, I'm out of here." He's talking about spoilers or leaks or something. These are not leaks. These are just again, it's like a prediction put into a script. Is all.
That's all it is. Yeah.
So. Let's quickly go over the last episode. This is how it ends. So again, no spoilers, and I guess I need to remind people in the middle of it to come in. But this one was called Lightbringer. So episode 6, the finale, called Lightbringer.
So where we're at currently was if I remember right, because I was excited last week. I did not watch the episode.
Yeah, it was the intense big war in King's Landing, and that's kind of continuing here.
Right.
We just discover Bran needs to go to the Isle of Faces.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff. So, when this episode opens, we open with Cersei, the Mountain, and Qyburn. And I know what you're thinking. If you watched the last episode, Cersei died.
Oh.
That too.
Sorry.
No, Cersei and the Mountain died. But interestingly enough, we have Cersei and Qyburn and the Mountain. And they are putting a symbol down that Qyburn's discovered, some symbol that he can put down with bodies and parts and just things, and making this alpha symbol. So he puts it on the ground somewhere and lights it, and Cersei has a child with her. And the Mountain is like the protector. They've escaped King's Landing, apparently. We don't know till a little bit later.
Right.
So he's putting down this thing to basically entice the Night King and invite him essentially to the God's Eye. So basically by following these symbols, they're lighting on fire. So they put this down. This is how we open. And so it's like, oh, what? Damn. I thought Cersei died.
Exactly.
Last episode.
Yeah.
So Qyburn is figuring out that he needs to go to the Isle of Faces or something. We see Bran coming out of a vision where Dany died last episode. So like he sees it and then he jumps out of this ward and goes, oh no. The war's over. Dany's dead. And that included Drogon as well. So it was like, there's all hopes lost. You only have one dragon, and that's it as far as Rhaegal. So he sees this. This is right in the aftermath of King's Landing. There's still battles and skirmishes going on. The Night King is looking over the city at the glory of his win, essentially. And Jon is pissed, holding Dany's body. He's cradling her along with Beric Dondarrion and Varys. And he's pissed. He's like, I'm going to kill him. And Beric takes Dany's body to protect it or whatever, while Jon gets on Rhaegal and takes off after the Night King, because the Night King at this point has flown over the city and sees them, kind of smirks at seeing Jon holding Dany, and takes off somewhere. We see at the Isle of Faces, we see Bran warging the Night King. He realizes they can have this mental warfare, going off what we've talked about a lot.
Yep.
And we see that this little grove of werewoods on the Isle of Faces, they're with the children. He's got to fulfill his destiny or whatever that means to become the three-eyed raven. And this werewood seems to kind of reach down for him and entangle him, almost like Blood Raven. You get this way you picture it. We go back to King's Landing and we realize that Varys is alive, so he has not died. I didn't like the little piece with Varys being in here, only because it didn't really follow through from the show.
Exactly.
But again, this is and again, I know a lot of people in the comments will say, well, "What about Gendry before?" And there's a lot of little things. They did cut a lot of things for budget because they had to do this just like a TV show. They had an hour per episode that they did this live, so they had to cut out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
so they
exactly
couldn't keep
like
the continuity on everything. So I understand that. But he's there with Beric taking care of Dany's body again as Jon goes to kill the Night King. We go back to Cersei and Qyburn arriving at the Isle of Faces. They're on a rowboat. The mountain's rolling. They're going out to the Isle at the God's Eye Lake. And the Night King is there waiting. He had seen this. He flies over. He sees this symbol, and he knows what it means, apparently, whatever, due to Qyburn's research. He's like waiting on the shore for Cersei and this child. So it's really, really, really odd. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What does this mean? What does he want with just one baby now in the midst of all this? How does that fit? Jon follows up, comes in behind him from Rhaegal, lands, and says, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. So he sneaks up, trying behind him as like Cersei approaches from the boat, and the Night King's waiting. Jon goes to attack, and then as soon as he like lifts up Longclaw, you can see, you can kind of picture this. Arya like says, Jon, no, because it's Arya in Cersei's face.
Shit.
It's Arya in Cersei's face. So the mountain is actually the Hound.
Wow.
So Qyburn the whole time thought that he was with Cersei, and then the mountain chops Qyburn in fucking half. Whack, you're gone.
Awesome.
Kills Qyburn.
Wow.
So it was Cersei, it was Arya trying to get close to the Night King to do whatever she needed to do.
Wow.
So it does employ. I like the idea that she's using these skills in some way. You know, her faceless assassin skills aren't going to waste, and she's using the face of Cersei to do this deal with the Night King, since she had already planned to do this, actually being Cersei. You know what I mean?
That is cool.
So they do kill Qyburn. He is gone. He's a goner. The only thing I don't like about Qyburn's death is I always, just me personally, I want it to be Varys. I just want Varys to kill him and still show that he's in control of the birds. You know, and it almost lines up with the books a little bit about King's Landing and how what's something already that's happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, then we go to the Isle of Faces, and apparently I don't know how this happened. Honestly, it's kind of out of nowhere. Ghost is there with Jon. He appears out of nowhere. Honestly, I don't remember anything last episode about Ghost ever being in the picture. But Jon he's there at the Isle of Faces. He lands. He goes to fight the Night King, so Ghost is there. I don't know if that's the part that was cut out, we missed, or whatever, but Ghost is there and like kind of trying to attack the Night King the same time Jon is. Remember, Night King has the sword Dawn that was in the crypts.
That's right. I forgot about that.
In this episode. So Bran discovers that between back and forth, because he can warg the Night King can warg him, he gets into the Night King and like freezes him in place. So kind of like we were talking about, some kind of mental thing where he can hold him still.
Yeah.
So Bran does that, and it's very obviously Bran has trouble doing it because every time his eyes are bleeding, like there's blood running down, just like a werewood tree, you know, like
That's
the
what I
sap
was
coming
picturing
out.
when you said that.
I think that's where they're kind of going with that as
That's
far as how
cool.
that looks. I can picture that really being cool, like he's really struggling in this one.
Very
so his
cool.
eyes start bleeding. Jon actually strikes the Night King, and as we predicted in our predictions for actual season 8, Valyrian still shatters, does not hurt him. So he's like, oh shit,
Yep.
you know, he's just got a handle. So we get the big revelation that Valyrian steel will not work. After he's going, he's like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
He's kind of screwed. So Bran's doing this warging the whole time, kind of holding him in place. So Jon's able to back off and get away or whatever, I guess, because the Night King's kind of stuck at this point.
Yeah, that's. We knew it worked on the other White Walkers.
Yeah,
but
so definitely didn't work on him. And I do predict this for the actual season because he's already got it basically dragonglass in his chest. So I don't see how it works. So Jon retreats essentially. He goes back to the Grove of Weirwood Trees with Sansa and Brienne and Bran and all those guys. And Bran discovers in a vision with the Night King, because he's going through all these places. And it's hard to explain here, but I like the way while you see these current scenes happening, Bran keeps going into these warging moments with the Night King and seeing visions with him in it.
That's cool.
So like the Night King and him are physically fighting in this vision, but they're stuck.
That's cool.
So that's what's really cool. If you think about seeing that on camera.
We were talking about things very similar to this too.
Right.
That's cool.
So if you can picture that, while the Night King's just stuck there in the real world, in the vision world, the spirit world, asshole, the Night King and Bran are physically like he's running from the Night King and the Night King's after him and stuff like that, but he's keeping him in this vision. Is what's happening. But Bran does reveal that Jon has to become a Night King, essentially a White Walker, to stop him. There's nobody else can do it. There's nobody that can kill him or remove the thing or whatever it is. So it's revealed that Jon, because of his, I don't like the idea of another Night King, honestly, but I
Right.
like at least they explain this specifically. Bran says, because you are Targaryen and Stark, ice and fire, that's the only thing it takes. And that's what it takes. So
Damn.
at least it is because of his blood.
Yeah.
So he kind of reveals that, and that's kind of a shocker. And he's like, yeah, you've been willing to give your life, but you're going to have to. So anyway, we go to the Hound and Brienne rush the Night King because he's almost getting out of this war. He starts moving again,
Oh, yeah.
and they go to fight him. I don't know why, because they just saw that Jon couldn't. But they try, and the Hound gets his throat cut by the Night King, the actual Night King.
Oh, God.
So we go back during this point to Brienne, hear Brienne scream, all this kind of stuff. Obviously, as the Hound dies, they decide then that they were going to use the Valyrian steel dagger that we always said would come back into play to turn Jon into the new Night King to battle the old Night King, because they have no dragon glass where they're at, obviously, or whatever. But they said it's the same thing. It is an ingredient, so it'll work just like it. So the dagger does. I like the idea of using this dagger for something big.
Yeah.
But it's not Arya doing any killing with it, because it takes away from Jon himself. So they decide that's what's going to do. So then we go. Essentially, Jon agrees. Reluctantly, Arya and them are shocked about it, but they know it has to be done. They do the magic, the children. Arya does the blade pushing actually and pushes it into just like the real Night King was created with the Valyrian steel dagger. Breaks off the hilt. Jon goes limp. He just, like, against the tree. He's against the tree just like the original Night King.
Yeah.
His head just drops like he's dead, and they're all like, what the hell did you do? It didn't work. But we flash over to King's Landing, and Melisandre is there with Beric still in the throne room here and doing this, trying to do something to save Dany, and all of a sudden they drop dead.
Oh,
And Dany comes
shit.
back.
And Dany comes back.
And Drogon comes back. And it reveals that she is Azor Ahai reborn. So the way I'm taking it is, as Jon died, it gave, a death for a life. Death pays for life. Dany rose. So I don't know if it was Melisandre or Beric doing they were praying and all that stuff just like she did to Jon, but was it really them?
Exactly.
We don't really know, or was it Jon's life?
Yeah.
So I like that little, swapping idea, of the life thing. So I don't know. We'll see. So I think that's the way they were going with that. Jon he does wake back up, kind of raises up. His eyes turn blue. He gets the Night King look or whatever, but he's not like evil Night King yet or anything. But he won't know them. They've already told him, you won't be you. It's forever. There's no undoing it. He agreed to all this. He turns to a new Night King, and he goes to fight the other Night King. That he's still struggling, right? But he's kind of breaking Bran out of this warg. But before he does, he creates a sword that he calls Ice, like the real Night King would, probably just like Sub-Zero style.
Yes.
This long blade called Ice. He goes to fight Night King. Bran lets go of the warg, and they fight. And basically, before we get to that really quick, we go back to King's Landing. Dany is now alive. Drogon is alive. The Dothraki show back up, a few of them anyway, and rejoin Dany's cause. All the people that are survivors in King's Landing, they all break, the Dothraki come through, cut down whites. And Jon, at the same time, this all happened at the same time, so you keep kind of going back and forth out of the faces in King's Landing. Jon fights the Night King, drives his hand in his chest, pulls out the dragon glass, and at that very moment, King's Landing, all the whites drop, all the other White Walkers, whatever, they drop instantly, they're gone. Jon crushes the dragon glass, Jon, the Night King now, crushes the dragon glass, the Night King fades away. Exactly.
Saga.
Viserion disappears at the same time. He's
Wow.
all of them just vanish, essentially turn into dust or whatever in the hell they are, ice shards. And at that time, Dany is now proclaimed queen. She is chosen. She actually talks to the people. She is chosen to become the queen. She is not like, I'm the queen now. She didn't want it. And then she said, but if you'll have me, I will devote my life to you, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to break the wheel, yada, yada, yada. All this big speech. They all start cheering, my queen, my queen. And she becomes queen, but she is essentially elected. She's chosen just like they chose her Misa Misa, kind of a parallel to that scene. She ends up becoming the queen. There is a little bit of a prologue after this, or I should say epilogue. There seems to be a little bit of time later. They're in King's Landing. Dany has new things. Winterfell's being rebuilt. Bran and Sansa are in Winterfell. Sansa is the Lady of Winterfell. Bran is there. During the reconstruction of Winterfell, he put some magic into the walls again. Says there must always be a Stark in Winterfell. Dany's kind of mad that Jon had to do what he had to do. Didn't want to see his son be a bastard or without, you know what I mean? But obviously he had to choose to kill the Night King.
Yeah.
So she's still pregnant, so they hadn't been that far to have the baby. But Arya is there with her.
Cool.
So that's cool, like almost Arya the Queen's Guard or something.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. Me and Val actually talked a little bit about that in the upcoming video tomorrow. And then we see at the very end, we see that Jon and Ghost are up north on top of the wall looking south, and they are banished there forever. So
I gotta say,
it's
that
end.
lets me down a little bit. I gotta say, it's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, and could happen. I'm just saying, if it does happen that way, that lets me down a little bit.
It does a little bit, and I understand they did have to cut out some things, but I don't like the idea of this new Night King and another pact.
Yeah, and the cycle.
And it's just a cycle again. So, and they actually bring that up, like Sansa's talking to Bran, like, he can come back, and Bran says that'll be thousands and thousands of years if he ever does. And there's a new spell on Winterfell, so it's all started back over, essentially.
Right.
I will say at the very end, Dany has the dragon egg that was in the previous episode in the Crypts of Winterfell, and she's cradling a new dragon egg at the end.
Oh, sweet daddy.
So, kind of like we said, some scene where there's some clutch of eggs found, there could be potential more dragons in the world or whatever.
That's right.
So, overall, I think it's a great series. I think it was really well done. There's some parts, obviously, I don't agree with, but again, they had to cut out some things because of time. They couldn't keep all the continuity, obviously.
Got to give it to them. They put a lot of work into it.
It is.
It's
Very
well
cool.
thought out. Some of the lines were really good. Sounded just like they came from the actors themselves,
Yep. So they did really good. I love all the parallels, and really the rhyming was season 1, which I think will actually happen. So I'm glad they figured out, said why Jon needs to be the one. At least it has something to do with his blood and our LJ. But I didn't like that it left out why the Night King is back now. But I guess it just kind of implies after time they just come back because they're bored. I don't really know.
Yeah.
So they had to leave some major things out, obviously. So still some unanswered questions, but in their version, it leaves it open. It really doesn't matter, honestly, because it's a cycle. It's just a big cycle.
That's right.
So anyway, really, really glad to be able to do these. So thank you again to Tim Elliott. If you're watching, Tim, really appreciate you coordinating with me, all these emails back and forth for all these months. And thank you to Cam Miller, all the student writers and the actors you guys hired, and the whole project. Really cool. And all the people behind the scenes. I know there's people that are behind the scenes. They're in the credits behind every video that did all the camera work and the producing and directing and all that stuff, because they did all this live for 2 days. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it being some small part of it. Really cool. Really great project, and I wish that was around when I was in school.
I know.
So
it was really fun for this off season,
It was. It gives you something to think about, and it'll be fun to kind of see when season 8 comes out what they got right and what they got wrong and how it compares. So really cool, really cool. Hopefully nobody just thought we were doing spoilers that came in new while we were doing that. But anyway, overall it was a great series and a great project. So really cool. So thank you to Boston University and all these guys. Thank you, Max Miranda, for subbing. Appreciate it. Thank you, apt pupil Jeff Bowen, for subbing. Ethan Davidson and Rizeo, I believe it says. Rizeo for subscribing. Appreciate it. Why is that spinning? That bugs the shit out of me.
No, me too.
Let me refresh it.
Because my thing over here says 68,006.
Oh, okay. So we're actually going up during the live stream.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, let me refresh that. All right. Anyway, so let's see what we got here on Patreon and get to the regular Q&A. Lord Kev of House Fukin. What's up, Lord Kev? He's just giving us a thumbs up there. I think is that a thumb up and I don't know, what is that, a glass? I'm not sure what that, a box of Vagisil. There's some kind of emoji there that I don't know. Mazuma, what's up, Mazuma? Thank you, man, on Patreon. Hey, guys, thanks for bringing interesting content to us, as always. What would be the worst, quote-unquote, fan service type twist the Butchers 2 could do in Season 8? What would you really hate if they did? as far as Dan and Dave butchering things.
Yeah, with fan service.
With fan service, the worst thing would be to me is just honestly turning into the Night King just dies, and everybody lives, and it's like a happily ever after thing. That clean is what I'm saying. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's going to be, look, the Night King's going to die. The good guys are going to win.
Yeah.
Because it's a hero's story. But if it's that clean where there's not enough heartbreak and there's not enough death,
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird.
Yeah.
You know what
and
I mean?
that is, in essence, fan service by not killing off
By
those
not
characters.
exactly, by not
putting
being
us through the
realistic
pain.
about it. Exactly, and don't bring everybody back by some kiss of life. We're talking about Barrick or something, you know.
Right.
Also, switching gears to upcoming season 2 of Cobra Kai. Have you ever explored the Johnny Lawrence as the good guy theory in karate? Yes, Karate Kid. I love it.
Yeah.
And they actually, if you remember season 1, they kind of hinted at that a lot.
They did. They really did.
Because
he
Johnny
went
was part of
douchey.
that. They did. They absolutely did. So I'm telling you, I completely get it. And he kind of was. Daniel was kind of he's the one that started the shit on the beach. He did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Last query: will there be pairs pottery spinning seminars at ProtoCon? Respect to Lord Kev. Pairs pottery.
Like the movie
We're
Ghost.
talking about that panel for Sunday at 11 p.m. when everybody's gone. What are you talking about? No. Hell to the no. That was your damn Ghost reference the other week. Mazuma also, do you think that Lannister dinner table Cersei ever said, Jesus, at the Lannister dinner table, who do I have to blow to get a glass of wine? I mean, probably. I would not doubt it.
I wouldn't either.
Lord Fook and Kev, yes, there will be partially invasive, semi-penetrational, completely romantic pottery seminars. Should I book you a seat?
Oh my God.
Okay, Jesus.
You guys are killing me.
Okay, enough. All right, K-Dubs. What's up, K-Dubs? Hello, good people, and Chris and James.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, K-Dubs. Exactly, Shannon. Team Johnny. I'm telling you, you Cobra Kai freaking love it, man. You talked about Winterfell possibly being connected to the farther north and the children via tunnels. I want to know if you have a personal theory about how and why Winterfell was created. Additionally, I just looked into something today. The pool in the Winterfell Godswood is cold, unlike the hot springs, and black. Osha swam in it, and to touch the bottom, Bran said, I didn't know there was a bottom. Osha said, might be there isn't. Why is it black? There's another body of water that might connect to it. The river in Bloodraven's Caves described as swift and black and flows down to sunless sea. And there are passages that go even deeper, bottomless pits and sudden shafts. Might the river be a source of water for the pool? Might be the color be significant. I think so. I think you're dead on it, K-Dubs. I think it's another hint of the underground network.
There you go.
And a lot of people speculated that was where a dragon died. That's why it's always cold. Winter fell here.
Right.
I don't buy that stuff because the ice dragon is a different universe. It's not in the same story. But I think that's exactly what that means. I think it's almost another connection to there. And there's probably, we're going to find out something about the crypts and that escape route, that there was a connection there as far as this it's really heavily implied in the books that there's underground caves all the way from beyond the wall to Dorne. I mean, it's this whole underground network, and where the trees grow, at least. If there's no trees growing, there's probably not. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or it's too high in the mountains or whatever. So I think you're dead on it. Let's see. Also, K-Dub, since you have both evidently taken the black now, what the hell? I haven't taken that vow. Hell no.
Oh, I guess our shirts.
Oh, yeah. Does that mean the rest of the untethered fellas can have a chance with the ladies now?
No.
I'm not taking that fucking vow. I promise you that, K-Dub.
We want them all.
You're right. Oh shit. Yeah, what a dumb vow to take. You would never. And then the white cloaks.
Not at a young age.
And then, of course, in Fire and Blood, you find out, well, it's reiterated that the white cloaks, Kingsguard just copied the Night's Watch and took that shit. That's why they had to swear the same thing.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Randy Suimatsu, thank you, Randy. I really liked the BU Season 8 and all. They were plausible, entertaining, and enjoyable.
Yep.
There was one thing, production-wise, I wish it had been done a little better. If the narrator was a little engaging and informed on God, it might have helped liven it up, especially with the amount of time he was narrating. Yeah, I agree. But he did not know Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones at all, and apparently it was just a dry read. So no time or whatever to. And he got pronunciations better as they went along, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe during the breaks or whatever, they like, hey, Arya's this way or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. But yeah, it's got to be hard with those type of names. You know, Targaryen and Daenerys, the first time you see that, you're not going to say it right if you don't know anything about it. Alrighty, let's go to the chat. Let's see, where we at?
Lord Kev, dry reading is like dry humping. Dry humping can be really fun.
Oh, Lord. What is this hashtag? James Chris sandwich in the bunks or something? What is that? Oh, hell. I'm just going to pass it. I'm just going to let that go. Hello, Hal Sanchez.
I'm always the bread.
Here's the one with the mayonnaise on it, or the one with.
Oh shit!
Or do you put it on both? I don't know. Herb Coswell in the chat. What's up, Herb? Q&A. So your vid with Val will be out tomorrow. Question. Also, have you seen Macy Williams' new series on Rooster Teeth, Jen Locke? I haven't seen it yet, but I really want to. No, I have not seen anything by Macy Williams, actually. So I don't know what you're talking about, actually, Herb. But yes, tomorrow they should be out. Mine is ready to go. It's actually on YouTube in private. I'm just waiting on Val to finish up, and we'll release them at the same time. So it should be tomorrow. Let's see. Hey, there's Brooklyn Wright. I saw Brooklyn Wright in the chat. Said, "Hey, Daddy-O." And and Chris. You had to include and Chris in a separate.
Shouldn't be drinking tonight.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Legal Jedi Will is probably magic in that he is both ice and fire. It might be helpful in killing the Night King. Yeah, if you're talking about the BU episode, yeah, I think that's the idea, and that's what I'm saying has to happen. It's got to be something with his special blood, otherwise no point. There's just no point. It's just a story about a bastard, who's a special dude, or just an heir to a throne.
Oh, Taryn says sometimes I'm the cheese.
Oh,
hell.
Oh.
Does that mean I'm cheesy? Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I mean, it could, unless she likes to get. Never mind. I'll just stop there. Don't forget to pick up your box of Vagisil at your local grocer. It will give your curveball a 2 to 3 inch drop. Just make sure I shout them out tonight for sponsoring today's live stream. Thank you, Black Magic 71 for subscribing. Flower Child Scrapper for subscribing as well.
Awesome.
And thank you, let's see, Angel Gonzalez. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Thoughts on Varys' betrayal? I don't buy it. I don't think Varys will betray anybody. It doesn't make sense to me, Angel, that Varys does this whole thing for all these years from season 1. I mean, we saw in season 1 where he is conspiring with Illyrio. His books are a little different, obviously, but essentially Blackfyre Targaryen. He's conspiring to overthrow Robert, bring Viserys / Dany / Aegon, Fagon, whatever, book, show, whatever, over here, only to betray her too. And I think they pretty much addressed that in the Dragonstone scene last year.
Yes.
She straight up said, you conspire behind Robert, so you just go pick a new one because you didn't like what he was doing. He's like, yeah, I'm not blindly loyal. You got to prove it to me, but I'm here for the realm.
You had a great answer.
It is. He did. And she said, hey, look, just promise me if I start failing the people, you'll come to me. Exactly. And not go conspiring behind my back. And if you do, I'll burn you alive, by the way. So I think that's over. I think that's it. I really think Varys is good to go. I think he'll do one. He's got to have a good season 8 arc and one more thing to do before he dies, if he has to die. And again, just because Melisandre said that doesn't mean he has to die on camera.
Yeah,
in the war. It doesn't have to, but hopefully I have ideas on how he can. Him and Jorah, for example, could be the ones to take the Golden Company and make them realize, look what Cersei's doing. You need to work for us. So those type of big things, I think he still has room for.
Right.
So I don't think he'll betray. It may look like it because he'll disappear.
Of course.
But then
yeah.
the Golden Company will show back up or something with him, and it's like, there he is again, just like he did with Lady Orlando.
Yeah, that's cool.
Randy Suimatsu, thank you, Randy, for the super chat.
Thank you.
Johnny and Danny will end up teaming against Kreese. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what's happening. I didn't like him coming back in, the trailer. So
I haven't
I'm
seen the trailer yet.
for season 2.
I need to watch that.
You didn't finish episode 10. Oh, that's right. Shit. Yeah, that was in the episode. You missed that. Shit.
I need to see that.
Yeah, Randy, I think that's we kind of spoiled something there, but I forgot James and I finished.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, no, I think that's kind of what's happening, and you're going to see that Johnny is not his teacher. Thank you, Akuma184 for subbing as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's see here.
6810.
Oh, okay. We're climbing.
Heck yes.
Some of these people actually may not be on the stream. They may be watching random videos, and something just comes through live here.
I'm ready to get another tattoo.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure what I want yet.
I don't know. What's he gonna get, chat? What's he gonna get? We're gonna get you some. We're gonna get you some ideas right here.
They're good for ideas. They really are.
Lady Dreamfire, hello, and James, hello. Do you think Danny's baby will be born?
I do.
And I will not be surprised if there's twins, actually. But I'm not necessarily predicting that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
But I do think she will live and be born. Or either way, the baby will live, is what I'm saying. So I do. I mean, I could see Danny dying in childbirth or something, just like her mother did and John's mother did, everybody's mother did. So I could see that or something, but I do think the baby will live. Because, that'd be a really good shocker, actually, because they were talking about the whole line of succession with Tyrion, and she thinks she can't have a kid, and then she finds out she's pregnant, and then Tyrion realizes, oh, shit, there's the heir. And that could answer the question about the bullshit about Tyrion promising Cersei something, which just didn't happen. There you go. Doc Colley's got the first answer. A tube of Vagisil tattoo. Is it coming in a tube, Doc? I don't even know. I guess Doc knows.
Oh, shit. Natalie says Dargan.
Tyrion, tattoo your sack back.
Fucking
Tyrion's getting as bad as Mazuma. I'm saying, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, shit.
John Haymaker, get a got tattoo, says John Haymaker.
Right.
Runs with squirrels, got tattoo, says the same thing.
Got themed tats would be awesome.
Yeah, get a Dargan, says Natalie. Natalie's still awake, by the way. Natalie Sanchez is awake, everybody. Just letting you know. Dargan tattoo would be good. Yep.
New Kids on the Block.
Oh, shit. Your favorite band? Hey, I like some of their music when I was.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's on people's guilty playlists.
Yeah, you don't know who is going to be made fun of when they're hot.
That's right. Melanie, this is a good idea. What if Danny has triplets, always 3 dragons? It's a good idea, but then do you have to kill all the current dragons? I don't know. We could have triplets though. You never know how they'll go with that. Could be. But I like the idea, instead of having, that rhyme with the original Aegon and Visenya, maybe she would have like a boy and 2 girls to kind of rhyme with that or something and name them that. That would be kind of cool. But I like the idea of John and Danny and somebody else being the 3 heads right now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, there's obviously theories about Tyrion, but in the books you have Aegon or Fagon. Could be real, could be fake, whatever. Who knows? But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, there you go. Doc says, James, get an area warging tattoo. It's just, they'll never forget that.
Oh,
I know new people won't get that, but...
Bunk bed tramp stamp. Oh, God.
Oh, damn. Count Ripula, what's up? Smokers, how's it going tonight? Going good, man. Going good, Count Ripula. The King of Scotland. If Danny had 3 babies, she'd be the size of a dragon. Yes, it would be... well, they'd all be a little smaller, but yeah, she'd be huge.
Yeah, buddy.
Absolutely. Meg Paul, quick! Someone lost some panties. Everyone, quick! Look around you. What?
Oh,
What
shit.
happened, Meg Paul? What is it? What did James say?
No, I did not.
What the hell? Oh shit. Oh hell. K-Dub says a dragon on your junk, so you can call it your dragon raised by pulls.
Oh shit! It took me a second.
Jesus, K-Dubs. All right. Any serious got questions? Let's see. There's probably some in here. Let's see. Herb Coswell says, SmokeScreen Q&A, why is everyone predicting the trailer with actual footage will be out at the Super Bowl? Also, do you think to defeat the Night King, defeat the Night King could be to remove the dragon glass from his chest? Herb, you know we've said this. You
Yes.
know we've said this for years now, and Dragon Raised by Wolves, we talked about that as an
Parts
option.
1 through 5.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, man. But yeah, we said that you know it takes magic or whatever to remove that or something to actually remove the thing. That's why we said that Valyrian Steel and Dragon Glass will not work on him. I don't even know if you can cut him. I mean, I don't know.
That's right.
Maybe you can, but it won't kill him. I don't know. So it's got to be removed, or magic's got to be done, something to remove that. As far as the trailer, I wouldn't think so. I don't think they've ever done that. I think it's going to be next. I think probably March. Probably March before a full-fledged trailer with footage. They've always done these little. They've always done these little teasers. So I don't think will do a Super Bowl ad. I don't think they need to.
No, they don't. They don't even spend that kind of money.
no.
No, hell no.
Because the internet blows up,
That's
when
right.
it happens.
They just drop one whenever they want to.
So I don't. To my knowledge, I don't think there's ever been a Super Bowl ad, right?
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
Patch
Let's
face
see.
tattoo. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, their patch face look good. Meg Paul, Q&A. Any plans on getting the BU instructor on for a chat? Actually, I've thought about that, Meg, and me and we were talking about it in emails and stuff. As having maybe a Q&A style session just for that stuff, because it's hard to come on these streams and talk about it the whole time because people coming in don't even know what we're talking about. They think we're doing spoilers, but we've talked about that, following up with some things. So we'll certainly discuss that too.
Somebody said you missed their question.
On a super chat, I just
Yeah, Angel.
Oh no, yeah, I just hadn't got to these yet. I heard them coming in.
I saw the message.
Yeah, so thank you also really quick, Jonathan Leon for subbing. And thank you, Angel, again for the super chat. Angel Gonzalez. Will Cersei make it out of season 8 alive? Nope, she can't. She can't do it, man. She got to go. She's got to go. She's got to finally end this whole. I mean, she's got to be taking down the prophecy. She's going to fulfill it herself anyway. So she's got to go. I don't know about the whole, should she be an almost equal villain with the Night King? I don't like that idea in general.
Right.
But they may do that to where we talked about it, the Targaryen sandwich, from north and south. So they'll probably do that to an extent, but hopefully she'll be the little bit lesser. Maybe she'll even meet the other one, is what I was saying.
That's what
before.
I think. Yeah, but she's definitely he's got to be the big bad.
Yeah, she's got to go. She's got to go. She can't. She's never going to be like. I mean, it'll be offered to her. Look, just go live out your days at Castle Rock. Shut the hell up. But she will not take it. She will die. She'll die first before she would concede defeat. Thank you also to Goonish Tendencies for the super chat as well. If Winterfell is attacked, how will anyone escape? We have been saying through the crypts. It will absolutely be attacked. It's going to they'll end up rebuilding it or whatever, I'm sure, in the epilogue. Yes, I think we've been saying that the crypts, that's the importance of the crypts, at least in the show, is that they will escape through there, going back to the tunnels and stuff. They won't go necessarily do all that. So it'll probably be some kind of old tunnel that comes out maybe in Wintertown or something like that, I'm guessing.
In the sewer, like Shawshank.
Yeah, exactly, in the sewer. Exactly. So definitely getting out. I'm just my guess. The leaders inside of Sansa and the whole gang will probably get out through the crypts. Let's see. Be careful, Count Ripula. Nightbot got you for 5 seconds for either Capitals or something. I'm not sure. There's Mander Kane. Thank you, Mander, for grabbing this question from Jacoby, 5400. I don't know. Yeah. We'll just say Jacob. There's a theory that the three-eyed raven is taking over Bran is controlling the Night King and White Walkers via Bran's body on behalf of the Children of the Forest. Any thoughts on this? Third time I've asked tonight. Sorry, we're trying to get to them all. But thank you, Jacoby, 5400. I don't buy the idea. I don't buy the idea that Three-Eyed Raven is some bad guy. So no, I don't buy the idea that he was Brendan Rivers. He did all this for the realm, for the Targaryens, all this stuff. And then he goes up to the wall, beyond the wall, as Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and then somehow decides to betray the realm by joining these evil children and killing all of mankind. I just don't buy it. It don't make any sense. It's clear they're fighting on behalf of. I mean, he just got killed by the Night King. He's not working for him. Yep. So did he kill himself? So you know what I mean with the Night King if he's controlling him. We saw him being created. He's his own entity. Yes, he's connected to Bran. I think he was a green seer, or either just the fact that he got the dragon glass shoved in him with magic gave him that ability, whatever. So he's definitely connected, but I don't buy the idea that they're the bad guys in some way, like still trying to kill all men. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It doesn't fit the whole idea, especially when you know a little bit more about Bloodraven's past and what all he's done for the realm and for the House Targaryen. Diane Harris, hello Diane. Q&A, do you think we'll have a scene of a moment between Bran and Tyrion, and Bran hints to Tyrion that he knows that he was what he promised Cersei?
I could see a scene like that if they have time. That would be a cool scene.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but the question remains: what did he promise Cersei anything?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, what would he promise her? You know, what could he offer besides life? You know,
lie.
Could be a lie. But yeah, that may be like I said, if the whole thing comes down to Tyrion being betraying Dany, which a lot of people think. It's not a direct betrayal. It's something that's going to look like a betrayal.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
So, I mean, that could be a way that something like that is exposed, I guess.
Yep.
But, of course, Bran Bran really couldn't see the truth in his heart, I guess, or whatever he meant by it. You know what I'm saying?
Cersei will try to throw Tyrion under the bus at some point. Say he made a deal with me, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah, Bran could be. Bran can see it's a lie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. So it could go both ways. Let's see. Antique Gamer. Thank you, Antique Gamer. Will Jaime be forced to kill Bran again to save them all as a mercy killing and finish his character arc as Bran forgives him and asks him to finish what he started? That's a good idea. I think it's possible because I'm still on the fence about it, but I've always thought about Bran does he die? Does he have to die because he's linked to this magic? You know? Right. If magic goes away, will he survive? It's not keeping him alive, so I wouldn't think it would kill him. But we said before it could drive him crazy. Yeah. Because he's got all this shit in his head, and all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. Oh yeah. What's left? Is he Bran Stark again, and everything's fine? That's the fan service I'm talking about. Yeah. Like there's not going to be any repercussions from that. You know, that's what I mean about being too clean, stuff like that.
That would be too clean for sure.
So I think it's possible that Bran may have to die in this whole thing. I
like to save them all.
Phrase. Instead of burn them all. Yeah, kind of reversing it. Yeah. And that's what Jaime did. You know, he actually saved them all.
He sure as hell did.
Let's see, because I love that was one of my favorite scenes too. And people were asking about that last week. Is when him and Qyburn. You know, Qyburn's taking care of his wound on the way back. He's like, how many people have you killed? You know, I don't know, countless. How many people have you saved? And he's like, expected some, no, like none. And Jamie's like, I think it's 500,000 or something like that. Because at the time, King's Landing wasn't as big, but still, he's like, yeah, all the shit I do is to save people. But he's misunderstood, and, Anyway, let's see. Princess Scarlet, hello? Q&A, if there's a new wall in the neck, is the North just gone, and that's its people who just lose their homes? Well, first off, I don't buy that there's a new wall anywhere, not in the neck. I guess you're talking about the trailer, the teaser the teaser, the Ice and Fire teaser, where the dragon glass wall kind of springs up where they hit.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was just a visual effect. I don't buy that's any kind of hint. There's as far as because there's literally not going to be anything like that clashing. It's just a figure of speech in a way. So I just think that was for visual effects. So I don't buy that there's a new wall in the neck or anything. But if that would happen, I mean, I don't think they would separate the realm in that way just because there's a barrier there.
I don't think so either, no.
Because the neck in itself is already a barrier.
Yeah.
It's what keeps people safe in the north from southern invasion and stuff, and the Cranningmen who live in that area too. Let's see. Melanie, maybe Sir Davos and Melisandre hook up after Grey Worm dies, or Missandei hook up after Grey Worm dies. They can have cute little kids. Davos loves kids. Yeah, but Davos is already married, so that wouldn't really work out. He's married and has kids and more kids than just Mathos in the books. A lot of those people died too. The Battle of Blackwater didn't show all that. Yeah, Davos needs to go home.
He does.
Davos just needs to go home after this and fucking relax and watch some TV. That's all he needs to do. He needs to just go home, stop following kings, and get the hell out. He's not a fighter.
No, he needs to get relaxed for sure.
He needs to go off with Salador San in the hot tub somewhere and just sail around and chill and be on vacation. Yeah. Not pirate things and steal things and get in fights.
It's a long time to leave somebody you love.
It is, absolutely. But that's what that time period did for war, for kings.
Yep.
Chris Harris, what's up, Chris Harris? Q&A 1. Have the length of season 8 episodes been revealed? They have to a degree and not. So we've heard that now, unofficially, as of like last week or a couple of days ago, that the first 2 are 60 minutes and the last 4 are 80. So an hour, and then an hour, 20 minutes for each. That's apparently what's happening. So take it with a grain of salt, but they did already say they're going to be long. They're going to be feature-length episodes.
Super cool.
So that's the same length, essentially, as season 7 with one less episode. So, I think that's probably pretty close, though. So take it for what you will. Number 2, do you think they can complete the story in 6 episodes without leaving us on the edge of a cliff in the end game? I think they can. I think if they do it right, they can. I know people worry about that, and people worry really about the prequels.
Yeah.
They worry about the prequel, them saving something for the prequel, some mystery or whatever, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Dan and Dave are not involved in the prequel. They are not going to hey, we this is the reason that George gave us, because he gave us the ending. He did. So we're here. Keep this piece of it to make the prequel successful. They don't need that.
Yeah.
There's too many other mysteries out there.
If the fact that there's only 6 episodes affects something, it won't leave us hanging on a cliffhanger. It's going to be just rushed, hurried, and sloppy. But we will get the end.
Yes.
If there's any negative effect to having only 6 episodes,
right?
Even if they're longer.
The good thing about it is you can anything that you and they don't have to answer everything. I like a little bit like this Boston University season episode 6.
Uh-huh.
I like that they didn't explain every little thing after it was all over, what everybody was doing.
Uh-huh.
Explain some basics, but leave some up to interpretation. Yeah. Don't give me an exact, here's what everybody's doing 6 months later or a year, whatever. Give us a general idea and let us wonder forever, is Davos back home chilling in the hot tub?
Sure.
Like I said, answer some major questions, but leave some of that. Let's see. Monkey Male Dog, will the North turn back into looking like the Garden of Eden when the children made the Night King? I think after he's destroyed, it will rebalance. Now, of course, you'll have regular winners like they do anyway, but they won't be like 10 years long and shit. It'll be a regular seasonal year, and you'll have the North, even up north of the wall, showing some grass, like they did before. That was obvious. That was what they were trying to tell you when they showed the same tree with it's all springy.
That's right.
it's all autumn-like. It's autumn-esque.
Yeah, autumn-esque. Love the word.
Just making up words and shit. And then they switched over to the snow when Bran was in the current time. So I think they'll probably in like the epilogue part show some of that. Maybe some flowers popping back up through the snow or something. I've used a little picture like
drone
that several
footage.
times. Yeah, they could. Let's see. Tyrion mid joke. What do we? Let's see. The King of Scotland. 7 hours and 20 minutes left of GOT. That's going to be rough trying to top all those loose ends. It is.
Yeah,
The good thing about this story is, for the major things you need to know, you have Bran Stark. That helps. It helps a lot.
It really does.
You can have a 5-minute sequence with Bran, literally just a 5 or less, 5 minutes or less, and explain a lot of things.
Damn right.
And do that throughout the seasons. Like we were talking about, a lot of people said, well, they haven't talked about the God's Eye. They haven't, necessarily foreshadowed it. But think about the visual aspect. If you show that place too much, or you mention it too much, like in a book that's lost in other words and thousands of words and paragraphs, you show that place often enough.
Yep.
It's going to be figured out, and they do not want people to figure this out. They want it to be a complete shock, if that's even a thing. I'm just saying. But it would take literally a 2 or 3 minute Bran expose through a vision to explain the God's Eye and the history. Him seeing a flashback of Hallen Reed coming from there, and whatever. So Bran Stark changes a lot for this type of thing. So I think they can do it. I'm just, again,
look how quick the Rhaegar wedding was.
Yeah, what was it? 15 seconds, maybe. That's all you needed.
And that image is still in my head.
Yeah, it's all you needed. But yeah, I mean, yes, it's wishful thinking a bit. I know there will be problems with season 8, but I think they can do it. I think they can prove it or close it right. They have to finish this story, and I don't think that they would want to leave this project and move on to Star Wars and have a lot of backlash on how they fucked up Game of Thrones. I just don't see that. How do you become the biggest show in history and then screw up the ending? But it's happened before. Lost. Apparently,
yeah.
So
Lilford1 says, "What do you think about this? Rhaegar Targaryen equals Jack and Hagar." You've answered that before, but I don't recognize that username.
Welcome, Little Ferd. Yeah, I don't buy the idea that Rhaegar is still alive. I like the idea that Rhaegar is essentially this Azor Ahai savior that's already dead when the story starts. That's just never been done before. So he is Azor Ahai in the sense that he was Lightbringer. Well, that his Nisa was Lyanna.
Yeah.
And Jon Snow is Lightbringer, the metaphor, not literal swords and cutting people with swords. It was a sexual thing, is what that was. Ecstasy was in there.
Yes.
It was described that way. So that's I've got a video I released 2 years ago on the real Azor Ahai, and I've did some remixes since then of that same video. So you can check that out, what I'm talking about. But there's 3 attempts there that kind of matches in a way. That they really wouldn't tell you all that in the show because it's not really, they just mentioned the prince that was promised. So you haven't heard about Nisa or Azor Ahai or the 3 tries at Lightbringer, some magical sword. But there is a parallel there with Rhaegar, and that's what I believe it is. So Jon is the metaphorical Lightbringer. There is no actual flaming magical sword with laser beams.
Right.
K-Dubs lost 2 subs. Yep, apparently we always lose subs during live streams. Always. And they're not even watching. They're reminded. they're reminded that we exist, and they no longer care, I guess. So that's always the way it is, because I just see 6809. I know that's behind, but I haven't seen any new things pop in.
That's where I'm at.
Herb Coswell. If Danny had twins, what would you want their names to be? Personally, I like the boy to be Rhaegar. Damn it. Nope. Wait a minute. Where'd it go? I lost it. Hold on, Herb. Here it is. If Danny had twins, what would you want their names to be? Personally, the boy named Rhaegar the second Targaryen and Arya the first Targaryen. Yeah, I thought about Lyanna if it was a girl.
Yeah.
Rhaegar, I mean, that'd be kind of cool if they figure out what he was really up to. But I like the idea. I don't know. That could work. I like the idea of 2 girls, Visenya and Rhaenys, back to the whole thing, or 2 boys to kind of parallel that reversed, like Danny is, I don't know, but that would be mother, not sister or brothers or whatever. So I don't know. Anything would be cool. They wouldn't use the title, the second though, unless they were kings. So that wouldn't matter. You could just be Arya Targaryen or Rhaegar Targaryen. You wouldn't be the second unless you were king or queen. Then you would take the second if you use that name. So it would just be Rhaegar and Arya in that case. So I think it's a good idea. But yeah, I like the idea of using. That's what I really liked about about Ice and Fire is he ignored the rules about names and went reality because everybody named their kids after the current king at the time, and shit like that. So those names were always there were so many like Williams,
similar, yeah.
In the reign of William the second or whatever.
That's right.
So that's the way it really went down. So that's why I enjoy it. So it's hard to keep up with all that shit,
because they're so similar.
when you have 400 Brandon Starks. Oof. But that's that's reality. All right, let's see. We've been going for an hour and 12.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to rest my voice for a minute because my throat's already on fire. Let me double check here. So yeah, let's take a stretcher. I see you, K-Dubs and Travis Trolley on Patreon as well. So we'll come back and grab those. So give us a couple minutes. Let me fix this really quick. You know how I always do the wrong thing. Where? All right, yes. Give us a couple minutes and we will be
right back.
And don't forget your badge seal.
Cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life, but perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our king. perhaps I can give you justice. I cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life, but perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our King.
To already. I think we're back. Let me.
We're back.
Give over to this. And I like to thank today's sponsor. No, I won't. People will be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Is he real? Is he for real?" There's Fractured. What's up, Fractured? Meg Paul, did you find your draws, by the way? Just curious. I'm just curious what happened. I never saw a response to that.
Yeah, I didn't see anything leading up to it. Or
Yeah,
anything.
I didn't either. I don't know.
The panties are missing.
Anyway, Ashley Marie. There's Ashley Marie, Princess Scarlet, known friend.
Ashley Marie in the house.
Anita Reinhard. Sorry, Anita, I said that wrong.
Hugh Janus, still looking for Hugh.
Yeah, we're looking for Hugh. So, let's see. The imagination realm at SmokeScreen. How does Jamie end up looking in the book? What do you mean, looking?
Like this.
Yeah, I think he ends up looking dead. Honestly,
No, he looks good in the book. Somebody's gonna write him a big long page.
Meg Paul, no, I'm going free on account of Vagisil. She's freeballing it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Imagination. If you're asking like his outcome, I think he's got to be in the white book, which means he's going to die. You know, unfortunately.
That is sad.
Unfortunately. Okay. Just curious. I didn't know Meg Paul. I didn't know what happened. What did I see a minute ago? Yeah, draws, Mazuma. Draws. Exactly. You know exactly what I mean. Obviously, Meg Paul did. Sandra Edelston, Q&A. What do you think? What do you think the long night will end with the Night King, or after he's dead, there will be still something wrong with the seasons? No, I think that once he's killed, they will balance back out. I think he is the reason for the disruption or the imbalance, so to speak. So yeah, I think that's what happens if once he dies. We'll probably see that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a scene like that up north, maybe 6 months later, whatever. And there's no snow, you know, to imply at least that the seasons are back to normal. I think he is the magic gone awry. This is a no-no type thing, and that's why everything's fucked up, you know.
You could be right.
John Haymaker, Salt and Vagisil. I'm sorry, guys. It's from a movie. It's just I just took it too far as a sponsor. And if you've seen the movie I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You should already know the name of that movie, so I'm not going to say it. It's a classic. Herb Coswell, Q&A. I'm writing short stories on my blog and need some tips on writing. Also, do you think there could be a surprise survivor at the end, like Kyburn, for example? As far as tips go, man, just write. That's the tip. Seriously. I'm not a professional writer. I'm writing a book. It's interesting. It's the process. A lot of research. But yeah, just the actual put stuff down on the page and then go back and alter it as you want. Just don't get stuck not doing something, because then you'll never do it.
Right.
Let the ideas flow and then go back and edit those. You know, just that's the tip. Just keep going. Get stuff on the page. Jot down ideas. Let me put the tap in. I swear to God. I gotta hold my nose into it.
At people's.
Oh shit! Yeah. So, no, Herb, not me, myself, and Irene. No. Think back a little bit.
Then you're talking about throwing a spitball.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait a minute. I saw that. Hold on, Faytown Matt. I see that. Let me grab Travis Talley on Patreon. Thank you, Travis. What happened to James this week? I didn't hear a story about the car accident or almost getting arrested.
Nothing happened.
That is true. There was no bad news.
No.
Yeah, damn. Well, let's keep it that way.
Or I'm just keeping it all quiet.
Oh.
Keeping it inside.
Maybe. I haven't heard anything on my end, just saying. I hadn't heard anything behind the scenes. I don't think. Have I?
No.
Is you really keeping something from him?
Probably.
I'm
tired of being down. Tired of being Debbie Downer all the time.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see. Maybe I can pry something.
We had the blood moon last Sunday.
Yes, it was.
And I think it threw something off in my life.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or threw something on.
Yeah, could be.
Could be. Yeah, I'll try to pry some stuff later. I don't know. I'll see if I can get anything. K-Dubs on Patreon. If you could drink and hang out with one character from the show, who would it be? What about actor, actresses? You know what? Seriously, Amelia Clark. Not just because she's gorgeous. She is hilarious. She's funny. I love Amelia Clark. I would love to hang out with Amelia Clark.
Oh, okay. I see. I'd say Tyrion.
Yeah. Peter Dinklage would be cool too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think Amelia Clark's just cool. Lena Headey's cool. I saw her on Bear Grylls' show. She's really cool. She's really down to earth, normal person. Don't act like she's some big highfalutin, actress.
Tell them about what we watched right before we came on. The Hot Wings.
Oh my, Gordon Ramsay, yes, on the
so
Hot Ones.
Funny, man.
Yeah, Doc reminded me about it the other night, the YouTube show, which I've seen a million of them. I just hadn't seen all. I don't watch it like on a regular basis. I need to. But Gordon Ramsay on the Hot Ones, the YouTube show where they sit around and interview somebody eating hot wings.
That was hilarious, y'all.
It was a 30-minute episode, and that's usually they're like 15.
Yeah,
I think, but it took him 30 minutes to get through them. It was funny as shit. He was hurting bad. I mean, his asshole was on fire. I mean, I don't know how.
He's trying to rub lime with his asshole.
Jeez, I'm sorry. We shouldn't be cursing like that on these family-friendly streams.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was hilarious. I suggest you check it out. Randy Suimatsu says, we will get an explanation as to the source of magic. Will we get an explanation? If killing the Night King somehow ends it, a lot of others will be affected. Would that include the dragons? I'd like some kind of explanation. My idea, Randy, has always been the werewoods is the source. The same source for everything, and people just have different ways to, connect to it, conduits, whatever.
I think so too,
through fire and all these other things. So that's the idea behind our in-game theory is if it's destroyed, then magic goes away. Now, the dragons, man, I just don't see them. Like, if there's one alive, I can't see it just dropping out of the sky.
I don't.
Because it's a living, breathing animal.
Right.
They say they're magical, but are they in that sense? No, I don't know.
I would say not. I'd say it might take magic to make that egg hatch the first time, but once it's alive and it's breathing and living, the magic was in the process of hatching it.
And the blood bond, I guess, is a magical thing, but it's a DNA thing, and but there's some kind of obviously force or something that's not physical to it that links old Targaryens and dragon riders and hatchers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it seems to start in the crib. They put eggs in the cribs of Targaryen kids, for the most part, but you didn't have to necessarily do it that way either. So I don't know if we want a full explanation, like for you Star Wars fans, I'm going to say a bad word. Midichlorians. We don't need midichlorians is what we don't need.
Right.
We don't need that kind of explanation down to the DNA.
Exactly.
Just don't do it. Just let us wonder.
I wish we had a Riddick cam.
I know, he's just letting his nuts hang. He's going free too, Meg Paul, by the way. He don't have his drawers on tonight. He's just all up on the couch. Anyway, so yeah, Randy, I mean, I hope we don't get an explanation too deep, but yes, I would like to know. All I need to know is like the source. Just tell me the source, and that's all I need to know. At least for me. Faytown Matt, thank you, man. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate it. Is the prince that was promised prophecy wrong? What if the promise made to the White Walkers at the pact was agreeing to give a prince to the White Walkers? Where y'all in North Carolina y'all live? Fayetteville here. We are in right above Charlotte.
Yeah.
Very close to Charlotte.
Very close.
So I've been out your way plenty of times. Went to East Carolina, so we're very close there. As far as the prophecy, it absolutely could be. They're all misunderstood and read wrong and interpreted wrong. So it's a tricky thing, as they always say. Is it self-fulfilling, or is it something you do all along and then find out about it? But if you find out about it, do you fulfill it? Like Cersei. Cersei, Maggie the Frog, is clearly an example of something she heard and she self-fulfilled.
Happens a lot.
But in trying to avoid it, she self-fulfilled it.
Right.
And the first part was pushing her friend down the damn well as soon as she walked out of the hut. I mean,
that is fucked up.
She started the thing. So it's a tricky thing. So I absolutely believe it's wrong in the sense of whatever they think it is.
Yep.
So, yes, a lot of people have speculated it's a prince literally promised, to the Night King or whatever. But that's the thing.
My mind.
The pact doesn't necessarily have to include the others, though, because they made the pact and then the others returned. They had created them before the pact, but they didn't attack until after. So do you include, now, if you're talking about when they defeated them supposedly in the first long night, how did that really go down? That's what the prequel's for.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me that for this show to end right. You know what I mean?
No.
About So, I mean, maybe depends on what it actually is. If there's, but because he's going to die this time. This last time he didn't die, so there maybe was a pact there, by the last hero, or maybe someone even brought up the other day on. I think somebody sent me a message. The Night's King tale being that he was a Stark, probably a Brandon Stark of Winterfell at the Night's Watch, and he was fulfilling this promise by giving up babies, and people. The Starks made up the rest of it to make it sound like he was evil and to erase it from history and kind of clear their name, like he was seduced by this icy woman who maybe never existed. And that's true. That may be the way it goes. I could see that, actually.
Could have been a Night King in drag.
Could be. In today's times, man, in the 1500s.
Just saying. Trying the trickery.
It could be. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's probably wrong. Absolutely. Because even Marwyn says in the books, it'll bite you right in the ass.
So many stories get lost or changed, morphed into other greater things than they really were.
Absolutely.
Over all those years.
Absolutely.
And like you said, with the intent to erase history, that fucks up a lot too.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. From @Pupil, Jeff Bowen, K-Dubs grabbed this. Thank you, man. Thank you, Jeff. Q&A, is Bron going to save the Sand Snake girl? Yeah, I was just chatting with on Facebook about it, on the Facebook page. I think I would love to have seen that, actually. It would have fit and kind of paralleled and rhymed and everything with her saving him. It could have happened while that shit was going on and we haven't seen it, but I think we would. I don't know if we'd have got. I think we'd have probably got that reveal already, if it was going to happen. So, I mean, if he didn't do it while all that shit was going on, after in season 7, like you just didn't show it, for example, and then we see her pop up again somewhere. I think it's unlikely, but possible. But because we've already seen Bronn a lot in season 7, at some point we'd have saw her already. I think maybe, but maybe she'll pop back up and that's part of the. She brings Dorne back into the fold for Dany, at the end where they show up and they're the saving army or something. I don't know. So, possible, likely, probably not. I thought it would have been a good little touch if they'd have did that. Let's see. Let me go back to this, move this damn thing again so I can see what's going on here.
Can you hear me knocking?
Let's see. Thank you, Randy Suimatsu, for the super chats. Appreciate it, man. Will there be at least one scene of the Maesters eating crow? I would hope so.
Please show me that.
I think so. I think they should be. They need to at least have their perspective on seeing this shit actually go down. Because he believes Sam. But he don't really. The rest of them made fun of him and all that stuff. So I would love it, man. I think they need to. Old Town needs to learn of these things, and maybe that's Sam's role. Maybe he ends up back there as Archmaester at some point. I don't know. Just saying. I think they need to know and acknowledge these things because everything's to them is. You can even see it in the history books like Fire and Blood and World of Ice and Fire. They're written by Maesters.
Yeah.
And they don't believe anything. They don't believe anything that's magic-y.
Damn it.
And we know there's magic-y stuff out there.
That's right.
But they think it's all just stories and tales.
You would have been a great maester back
or
in the
they
day.
acknowledge it used to be that way. It used to be magic-y. Now
He don't believe my ghost stories.
No, I don't believe ghosts. I believe they happen, but not in the way he thinks they happen. Is what I'm. Anyway, I don't know what we're on that for.
I'm just saying you would have been a great maester.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would have been a good maester actually.
Hey, something did happen this week.
Oh shit!
You heard me yelling. You heard me yelling.
So I can stop talking for a minute. I'm sorry, guys. Uh-oh, we got a story?
Yes, he heard me yelling from the other side of the house.
Oh, yes, that's right. That would, well, yeah. Okay.
I went to bed, and I went to bed early. He was still up, and he came, "You all right, man?" to my door, what happened was I had a horrible nightmare. I sleep with a CPAP, right? And what I'm assuming happened is that I wasn't getting good flow and was choking or something. And it came into my damn dream because I dreamed I was laying in bed in my bedroom, in my bed, and
this is the Freddy Krueger
invisible grabbed me and squeezed my arms together. And then all of a sudden my CPAP hose wrapped around my neck a couple times and was choking me. And I'm like yelling, help, help. And I woke up and I was like, I wonder if I was yelling that out loud. And then next thing you know, Chris comes to the door. You all right in there, man?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny.
And the yelling was a yell, like, ah, help.
Was it really?
And I was like, because I was editing or something or playing a game. I don't know what. And I was like, did I just hear, yeah, help?
Dude, it was like,
and I was like, wait. And so I took them off and waited a second. Was that James dreaming or something?
No shit, man.
And
it
I
was
was
scary.
like, I better check just to make sure. So I was like, hey, man, you good? You're like, yeah, man, thanks. I just had a horrible nightmare. Thanks, man. Oh, shit. That was some Freddy Krueger shit for real.
It really was. The more I thought about it after I woke up, I woke up, my heart was racing and shit. Because you couldn't see anything. All I knew was that my arms were getting squeezed against my body like a bear hug. And then all of a sudden, I was like, holy shit.
Uh-oh. Terry T, they got pills for your flow. I knew it. I knew the flow thing was coming.
Flow Max.
Shit. Oh, so yeah, but I mean, that's not bad news. It was an event.
No, but it was an event.
It was a James style event.
Yeah,
and so we get a James style story from it.
Shit.
Yeah, John Haymaker, James was sleeping on a werewolf stump, exactly like Jamie. Big Cincy, what's up, man? Q&A, Chris, do you think they will be vague on the beginning of the White Walkers and save it for the spinoff, or do you think Dan and Dave will give us the closure? Yeah, we were just talking about this, Big Cincy. I think we'll get the closure. I don't think they need to do anything vague. I just can't see them being their story. They put all this 15 years into it. They don't just do it the years they planned it for 4 years. 15 years of your life into a show and then not finish it because they're leaving. They don't have nothing to do with this project. They're not going to hold back because this new person needs this new team or whatever. No, they're gonna finish. They're gonna at least try. I'm not saying they're gonna do it perfect. Believe me, I'm just saying they're not gonna hold back anything we need to know to finish this story.
Right, your thought process is absolutely correct. They're not spending that much time.
There's no way because he gave them the ending. They're going to use the ending.
Oh.
Yes, it will be different. Obviously, some points, but what was that?
I just read Doc's.
Oh Lord, high elevation. I don't think you heard the story right. I came from my room.
Oh, yeah. See, there you go.
See, you didn't hear the story right. He said I came and...
Get those context clues, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
That was the whole point of this.
Right.
Because he made all this up. No, that was the whole point, is I came and said through his door, you all right, man? So get the hint, Mazuma people and Doc Holliday. And Lord Fukakev. Oh, shit. Anyway.
Yeah, you wrapped around my neck, hung off the top bunk with all your weight.
That was doing Tyrion.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, God, I guess a good visual.
Shit. Oh,
that's funny as hell.
Yeah, that was... Anyway. Carrie Pebble.
Tyrion.
The Shay.
So
we'll call that
funny.
We'll call that the Shay.
He's doing the Shay.
We pulled the Shay. Thank you, Tumbleweeds. That Tumbleweed. That's a great name. Tumbleweeds for subscribing. Appreciate it. Excuse me, Carrie Pebble. Do you think the Greyjoy motto "What's dead may never die" has something to do with the Night King? I don't know. I don't know if it's directly related to Night King. I think it's just related to their stupid drowned god that they believe in. And they use that as their, you saw on the show that they drowned Euron at the King's Moot to prove, they all go through that. As Ironborn, Theon did it a little differently in an earlier season. They kind of scaled it back early and then did the full thing with Euron.
Yeah.
But in the books, they do CPR. they just don't call it that. They don't know what it is. They just push on their chest, and if they come back, they're kings. You know, they're
Right.
Ironborn. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't directly correlate it with the Night King, because I mean, it could have maybe because obviously those houses came so much later, but the Iron Islanders in general. I wouldn't think that would be a direct correlation. I think it's just a religious thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, then again, you know, it's all, they all believe in some kind of magic, and it's all the same thing, you know, to me, as far as the source.
And I could see that like a Flatliners type scenario where they drown somebody, bring them back with CPR,
Yeah.
and then they come back with all these visions and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
That
Very
they
true.
saw.
Yep, because they say the watery halls of the drowned god, you know. Lord Fukinkev in the regular chat, don't bring me into that shit. I wasn't the one who mistook the crazy glue for lube. Ouch. I'm just saying. Wait a minute, I thought Lord Fukinkev was watching some wrestling thing tonight. Wasn't there something on? Some new pay-per-view tonight or something? Pretty sure there was something going on. Because he was like thinking about leaving us tonight, you know, and watching wrestling.
Yes, I know. He showed up. I was so glad to
there's
see.
no Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's no
No.
Rock. There's no
Those days are
Mankind. The Undertaker, is he still around? He's 87 years old. There's no, you know, DX and stuff. I don't know why you'd still watch it. No, I'm kidding. I know there's still some funny dudes.
JB Bost in the house. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Let's see. Carolyn Moore, or Carolina, or Carolyn, I'm sorry. One or the other, but thank you, Carolyn. Q&A, what is the point of killing Lady off so early in the series? Other wolves' deaths coincided with their owner's deaths, even Bran dying to become the Raven. Sansa's still kicking, so why did Lady die?
You said Lady Di.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think because in the show, obviously they didn't do it, but all the Stark kids are wargs, and I think they wanted to block he wanted to block Sansa's potential to being a warg, so she becomes more of a regular person, not a non-Stark, because she's the Stark you're supposed to hate, like Catelyn. So
it stunts her
because exactly. So if she would have connected with Lady, she would have been more of a Starkish person,
more Starky.
And so originally she was supposed to completely abandon her family.
I like that. Yeah.
So I think that's in the original idea of her completely abandoning, and she kind of still did in the sense of everything is about Joffrey and I'm gonna be queen. And all that
if she would have
stuff.
looked up and got good dudes, she would have been out of there early on.
Exactly. So if you kill off Lady and you sever that connection to her, you know, this magic thing that she could experience, like Bran and Robb and everybody else, even Jon, then there's more to life than just being the princess.
That's right.
So I think that's why he did it from a literature standpoint, you know, story standpoint. It makes sense to me. I mean, just my guess. I obviously don't have any inside info, but just a guess.
Mongolian says hashtag Starky Magic-y.
Starky Magic. We got all kinds of hashtags, and we make up words here all the time, and we're proud of it. Mazuma 10,000, thank you, Mazuma. Q&A with the super chat, by the way. Q&A from Time for a Kiss. Oh, thank you, Time for a Kiss. What's one question you would ask Germ, Dust on the Throne, and SmokeScreen? One question I would ask George R. Martin. Because I thought about this the other day, because ironically you were talking about dreams. I had a dream I was in some kind of conference with George R. Martin. It was weird.
Very cool.
But I would ask him, because I know he will not spoil anything. I would just say, what was it? Because I thought about, because in this dream I asked him something, and it was what I would ask him. And it was something to the effect of, I know you can't answer, you know, you won't give spoilers or hints or whatever, but it was something to the effect of, something about the Isle of Faces. Just, you know, will we see it again? Or something like that. I don't know exactly how I'd word it.
Right.
And I don't remember the dream in detail enough to remember how I worded it, you know, but it was a specific wording I'd have to remember. But something to the effect of, you know, will we see it again? Or, because I just want to know, you know, but we're not going to get books for a long time, and I don't know if they give that route in the show as far as the location.
I know it.
So, I don't know, something like that. I mean, because he's not going to give you answers. He knows what you're asking, you know.
Yes.
He knows. So, I would say something to that effect, like, or I'd ask him something and throw a hint in there that only he got.
That would be cool.
the way I worded it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because he would pick it up, for sure. If I worded something
And then you could watch the expression on his
and
face.
watch the expression.
Yeah.
Because I thought about that
Go back
before
to
too.
the poker days.
Like, I don't know how I'd have to think about it because I've thought about that before, and I would word something in a way that slipped in a hint about the Isle of Faces or an island or an isle or something, whatever it was, to where the question just seems innocent, but there's a little the way it's worded.
Yeah.
And
then he knows.
he knows that I know that he knows. That you,
Yeah.
you know that I know, Norton. Anyway, so something like that is my answer. I don't know, James. What do you think? I need to grab another drink.
I don't know. Let's see. I think I might.
Something to that effect. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of shit I'd ask him.
I know, because and you would definitely be in awe, and so it'd be like, I don't know. Start out with how old were you when you lost your virginity?
Yeah.
Just an icebreaker.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It is curious. I'm curious, what actually happened to him as a child because he is fucked up in the head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, his sci-fi, he's crazy. You got to be on some level of crazy. I'm just telling you.
Gots to be.
Let's see. Diane Harris. Q&A, with Sam's dad and brother gone, Sam is the heir to Horn Hill, but will he continue to his studies at the Citadel, or he will be destroyed by the Night King and rebuilt by Sam to include female maesters? Good question. That's what I was saying earlier. I don't know after this. I do believe Sam will survive. And if you do like the idea that he does write this chronicle, then you think, okay, well, he goes back to the Citadel, or maybe he's part of the change there. They believe all this shit now, and he tried to tell them when he was there, and they make him, I don't know, he goes faster through the ranks or something.
Yes.
I don't know. And then they change the rules, or maybe as Dany becomes queen, if she becomes queen, or John King, both, whatever, they change the rules about and the Citadel says, yeah, we got to start taking ladies and stuff like that, because we got people in the books already there. Sorella Sand.
I gotta
Anyway.
ask you this. We got the question earlier about Jaqen. Now, we don't have to be done with Jaqen, right?
No, he's still around the books for sure.
I mean, he could be so important right now. I just don't know how he fits in. But
yeah, I mean, we're beyond the books, and I won't spoil anything, but I'm just saying, in the books, he is at the Citadel. He is interested in dragons. That's all I'll say. So they could absolutely bring him back. I just hadn't kept up with filming it because I'm trying to avoid spoilers.
right.
So no filming news as far as if he was even in season 8. But I just don't think it's like we're talking about the show kind of having streamlining things. Only 6 episodes.
Right.
Is he 100% needed? No.
No, he's not.
But
at this point in the show,
again,
no.
there's very few people that are. But yeah, I wouldn't think so. I think to me, it ended that plot line right there.
For the show, he's just there to train.
To me, it was Arya's story about her going through her identity crisis, like she was from episode 1. She wasn't the lady like Sansa, sewing perfectly and all this shit, and that was the physical manifestation of it. So once she decided she was Arya Stark and figured out who she was, it's over. Like, that's the end of it for me, for the show. I think it'll be very cool to have Jaqen back in some way, but I don't buy it being that he's chasing Arya down to kill her, like because they drafted her and she left. Why? He gave her a bunch of cool tools that she could use to serve the many-faced god. Why would he hunt her down and kill her?
No, I don't see that.
I think the waif was the test. One of those two were going to become a faceless assassin or faceless man, whatever. Become no one. So I think that's, for me, that's just my opinion. But that's we'll see.
You don't think he had any higher knowledge of what Arya was going to become a part of? What she was going to be necessary for?
Oh yeah, as far as the end game,
yeah.
Not in the show. Not in the show.
Okay.
The books we're still way too early to see, but he is definitely interested in a certain book at the Citadel. He's not even training Arya in the books. It's not even him. It's the kindly man. It's a different person. There's more people actually who works there in the books. In the show, it's 2 people that work there. Jack and Arya in the wave. That's
Gotcha.
really all you see. You don't see any servants or anything.
You're right.
You do
Yeah.
occasionally see a broom laying against the wall like somebody was doing something. But yeah, they didn't even have any extras in there. Anyway. Let's see. Mod Mary, thank you, Mod Mary, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Props for your answer about Lady/Sansa. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the super chat just for telling me good answer. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Good point.
Exactly. Good point. That's just a guess on my part, but I don't have insider info. Randy Suimatsu, thank you, man, for the super chat as well. Who will get High Garden? I'm rooting for Bronn. I like that idea. I like the idea of the twins. You know, he gets 2 castles essentially for the price of 1. High Garden's cool. Since technically they're all wiped out in the show. I don't know if there's any Tyrell cousins to take back over. We'll see. We'll see what Dany, if she becomes queen, decides to do or whatever. But Bronn will be fine. I mean, might as well. If you don't have any Tyrells that you can like give it back to and say, "We're sorry, we killed your family. Sorry, the Lannisters killed your family." You know, I mean, obviously, if there's a Tyrell cousin out there, give it to them first before Bronn.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's nobody and you're just assuming that they're all gone, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, I could take that for Bronn. Let's see here. All right. Go back to that. Nope. There. Let's see. On Patreon, Lord Kev, again, just to clarify, can we say fuck on here? I mean, fuck, man. It shouldn't be such a big fucking deal. Fuck, fuckity fuck. Sorry, I had to get that out. Technically, we can, but I will say this about YouTube. They have finally came out and said that if you cuss in your videos, it will be less. It can't. They're not going to block it unless it's overdone. So the occasional, damn,
Right.
or shit, it's fine. But when you start getting into the worst ones and you repeat it, they will not promote it. So
Can't necessarily blame them.
no. I mean, so they finally did admit that. So we shouldn't. You will not get as many views on videos if you do. That's all I know.
Advertisers care.
But we try to keep it semi-clean. We don't want to be all potty mouth. So we you know us. We have our jokes and occasionally
We know our audience.
we do. But at the same time, I don't want to be overly
Right.
dirty and stuff because there are people in here who we want to respect that too. So technically, yes, we just limit it. Is what we're saying, Lord Kev. K-Dubs, thank you, man, on Patreon as well. Do you see the actress? Did you see that the actress who Boston U played to play Dany literally has the last name Stark? What? Yep, she does. I think that is actually her last name.
Wow, I did not know that.
Her name is Jess. I don't know if it's. I'm assuming it's Jessica, but Jess Stark.
Damn,
That is
that's
actually
cool.
her name, and she played Dany. And it was interesting too in this one, like when Tyrion died in those episodes, the previous two episodes earlier. When he died, he put down his book and then just listened the rest of the time. Took his mic off and just listened. When she died, she didn't last episode. So I was like, I mean, he played somebody else. He still played Beric, but for that episode, he was done. So I think there was an intermission after that.
All right, I got a question for you from the man.
Uh-oh, the man is back.
Yes.
The man.
And this is, we've touched on this before, but this is kind of a new twist. Best remaining swordsman or swordswoman.
Ooh, remaining? Ooh, well, if you're handicapping Jamie,
I know.
you got to get rid of Jamie because he's lefty. Remaining in the show, let's just go with the show to simplify it.
We know.
Overall,
Arya.
swordsman, fighter in general, I guess, would have to be. You got Jon, who's really, he is good, but he's not the best. But you got Bronn,
Yeah.
who's a badass. The
Brienne.
Hound, and Brienne.
Yep.
I think who's left, right?
But we saw Arya hold her own against Brienne.
Yeah, Arya. Yeah, Arya's now obviously included in that, sure. So if Arya's that good, what about Jaqen and people like that? But they work a little different. But she still straight up sword fought Brienne with a little tiny ass needle. It was literally
That was
size of a needle compared to her
very
sword.
cool.
So you got I wouldn't want to pick one outright, but Brienne did knock Arya down, and
Yep.
but they killed each other. You know what I mean? Too. It was a fake duel, but they would have killed each other if that was real.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Would you give the nod to Bronn or the Hound, or because Brienne beat the Hound, but just it could have been the other way around. They're so even matched, So you got the Hound, Brienne, Arya, and Bronn, I think, and Jon.
Yeah.
Jon again. Jon is great.
And
too.
Jamie's still good.
Yes.
But
And he did get trained again by Bronn.
yeah.
But he's still not full potential.
Exactly.
Even Ariel Hotah says that, it's like if you were whole, it'd been a great fight, when you go down the Dorne. So, anyway, Grey Worm, but I don't think Grey Worm could hold up to, I don't know, to a Hound type thing. I don't know if he can work a spear. Yes. That's the tricky thing about fighting.
It really is.
It is because Grey Worm and them are not efficient with swords like they are with spears and other. I mean, they do. Don't get me wrong; they train with more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But they always work with spears, at least in the show, and mostly. So, Grey Worm versus a Hound. The spear's got the length advantage. There's just all kinds of little things about fighting. It's hard to say who'd win duels and matches because if you had 10 different fights with the same people, you'd probably have, they'd both win 5 times. You know what I'm saying? On some of these matchups.
Hal Sanchez is saying Jorah.
Yeah, Jorah, absolutely. He's still a great fighter. Jorah, the only reason I didn't include him, Hal Sanchez, was he's getting a little older and slower,
yep.
and you saw him kind of get his ass whipped a little bit in the fighting pits, in Daznak's pit specifically before Drogon showed up. So he was kind of getting, beat up a little bit, and he was getting knocked down a lot and was almost dead. And then he got saved by the other guy who was randomly in there. So I didn't include Jorah only because of age. Jorah is a great fighter, though.
Who's the best jouster left?
Lyanna Stark. Because she's still alive, too, don't you know?
Oh,
her and
that's
Rhaegar,
right.
Yeah, her and Rhaegar are just the Quiet Isle. That's it. Let's see. All right. Let's Sandra Edelstein, SmokeScreen, why do the Unsullied die so easily in the show? Yeah, I mean, because they got to have people dying. They can't have a complete domination in a war. It's not going to really look like that.
Yep.
The first people there at the line, are going to be, once that line's broken, your spear's pointless when you're that close.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the way it is, So they pull out their daggers, and then you got a dagger versus a sword. So, I mean, I don't know. That's more realistic, I guess.
I grabbed one for you from Tyler Marshall.
Alrighty.
Q&A. How much of Nymeria and her pack of wolves do you think we will see in Season 8?
Man, I hope we see the whole damn thing.
I do too.
I think they're going to.
I think it might be necessary.
I do too. I think they're going to. Yeah, it's going to be almost Knights of the Vale type thing with wolves is the way I've been picturing it. We got to see them come back, not just show up and Arya says, "Oh, it's not you anymore."
Yes.
Just like she said, "It's not
me."
Yes,
that was.
You got to have them show up in Season 8, and at least look. It's going to be bad. They're not going to survive it. I'm just saying, but wouldn't it be cool to see a giant pack of wolves tear out a bunch of damn whites or something?
Mm-hmm.
Or that would be cool. So I think we will. I think they'll. I will. I do. And it may be wishful thinking, but I do think they'll go all out with the money and not worry about. There was no budget issues this year. I don't think. So we'll see lots of dragons and dire wolves. I know we've already told we're going to see a lot of ghosts, which was a big complaint.
Exactly.
A huge complaint. And I complained about it too. They cut out the couple scenes they did have.
Got you another one here from Princess Scarlet 2. Herb, I see your question. I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit. We usually do get a couple of yours, 2 or 3. So I just want to try to mix it up before these other people jump off here. Princess Scarlet 2 says, what happened to Tyrick Lannister during the riot in King's Landing when Joffrey was in danger? He just disappeared. Is he still alive?
Who?
Tyrick or Tyrick Lannister?
I don't remember them having any other Lannisters.
I didn't recognize the name.
In King's Landing.
During the riot, when Joffrey was in danger, he just disappeared. Is he still alive?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume anybody that didn't show up in that room. I don't remember the details in the books from all the people in the fight. The main thing there was the Hound saved Sansa and all that good stuff that started that relationship. So I would assume that anybody that didn't show up in that room after the Hound went back out and got Sansa, closed the doors, and all the a lot of gold cloaks died and stuff. I would assume they're gone.
That's what I would assume too.
We saw people get ripped apart and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So here's Herb's question. Do you think Stark sisters will start to question their views on Ned after RLJ is revealed? I mean, Ned did put Jon into the life of a bastard.
Yeah, well, they'll definitely question. They'll definitely question not his character, but it'll be that first sense of that motherfucker lied to us. That just initial idea that he lied is enough to make you question things.
Yes.
And then they'll start thinking about the why. Why he lied and why he did that to Jon.
Understand.
And they'll understand. So they will all question, and they'll make them question even more.
That's right.
If he lied to us about that, what else? But they'll understand. There will be that initial shock or whatever. So, okay, we are at 2 hours. So if we want to do some more, we good to go another. So let's take a stretcher. I got to get a new drink. My throat is dry, and I will come back and grab these other questions. Thank you, Minaj, for subscribing. Appreciate it. And I think
Minaj.
Et
toi.
And Randy, I see your question there too, and we'll grab some more from the chat as well. So give us a couple minutes. Hold on 1 second. Let me move that over there so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. All right, yeah. So I guess you guys are still down to hang out. We got usually about 30 minutes or so. So let me grab a drink. Give us a couple minutes, and we will be
right back.
Cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life, but perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our king.
Alrighty, I think we're back. I think we are.
We are live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. And we are still at 68011. So yeah, there's we've lost.
That's right.
It's pretty typical though. All right, let's see. Let me grab. I saw a question from who did I say, James? That I wanted to answer. More of a book question, wasn't it?
What was it like? Electrode or something like that?
Electrode, I think it was
Electrode.
Electrode,
Starts with
yes.
a
It
L.
was just Electrode somewhere. I saw it flash by. Something a little different.
1227. Oh, you can't see it on there.
Yeah,
Hold on,
I'll have to try to find it. Try to find Electrode.
I'll find it and read it to you.
Let's see. Damn it! I thought it was like right in there, but I guess a lot of chat has passed there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. It's got to be close. There's Electrode replying to somebody. Trying to guess, some different stuff.
I can't go back that far.
Yeah, now it won't let me.
It won't let me.
I can't. Let me see if I can.
It goes back to 12:30 now. Damn it.
Yeah, Electrode. Type that again. I think I might have it though, Electrode. I just want to, because I wanted to answer because it's a little bit different. We get some of the very similar questions, which is fine. We understand people are new and stuff, but be careful. American military equals freedom. I don't know if it was Nightbot times you out. Caps and emojis do it. Unfortunately, we don't have the thing like Twitch yet. So, but Electra, I think, was essentially asking about Alisane Mormont, I believe. And I think you were asking Alisane is going to be important to the story. I believe that's generally it. Like, because Stannis... Okay, so Alisane Mormont is a book character. She's very husky. She has 2 kids. She's a bastard, whatever. Her kids are. She's unwed. She says the Mormonts claim to screw bears, which leads a lot of people to believe that Tormund has been with a Mormont. But I think the general question was, is Alisane going to be important in the story? Because Stannis sends her back to Castle Black, commands somebody to send her the Arya Stark at Winterfell, which is really Jane Poole, to Castle Black. So I don't think it's super important, but here's what I'll say as far as her role. She is with in the books. Asha Greyjoy, who is Yara on the show, is with Stannis as a prisoner of Stannis.
Right.
And she is she's burned some Ironborn ships in the books and joined Stannis' army marching south to Winterfell. So that's where we cut off in Winds of Winter. So that hasn't happened where Stannis dies or whatever. I'm sure it'll be different in the books. But during this time, her and Asha get pretty close because they go fishing and stuff, looking for food while they're out camping and marching on the way to Winterfell. So I think in general, the idea, at least for her, I don't think it's a huge role, but Asha or Yara it may be something where she gets away because she saved her from being burned at the stake by another dude. So it may be something where it gets Asha away from Stannis and more back on her Euron storyline, which I think will happen. More dealing with the Ironborn and Euron. So I think that's part of it, and maybe be the one to actually be told or realize that that's not really Arya Stark. So I know that's if you hadn't read the books, you won't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Meg says to tell you got the question right, correct. Or whatever. Okay,
thank you, Meg. So I read it and I thought that was the general gist. So that's my general idea. Not a super big giant role, but get a couple people back on path for, you know what I mean? Yara's going to be involved with Euron later on, obviously similar to the show in that aspect. And then maybe the revelation that that's Jane Poole, which is Sansa's best friend in the show and books, and probably maybe she's the one who finds out that that's not really Arya Stark. There's a fake Arya Stark married to Ramsay Bolton in the books, is what I'm saying. Jane Poole. And she may be the one to realize that. You know what I mean? So that's my general idea. I don't really know, obviously, but that's just a guess. And I don't think so. I don't know if you call that a huge role or not. So book people, you'll know what the hell I'm talking about. If you hadn't read the books, that's a whole different thing. That's not even in the show at all. They didn't include any of that stuff. Alisane, I believe, I think she was named after the good Queen Alisane, who flew up there, that we learned about, and met people at the wall, and they changed it to the Queen's Gate at one castle, and made the gift bigger for the Night's Watch. And we learned in Fire and Blood that her dragon Silverwing would not fly over the wall. Good Queen Alisane, wife to Jaehaerys I, the good king, the old king. Anyway, I hope that general was the right answer.
I think
To the right question.
Yeah.
The right question. So therefore, the right answer. Let's see here. Anyway, Meg Paul. Yes, she was. I love that name. They painted the top of the castle gold. Yep. That's what's so cool about this story is the backstory. It's almost like real history. When you read it, you think it's actually happened.
exactly.
Somewhere in the world.
That's what hooked me.
It really is, and Fire and Blood gives you. I mean, we got a lot of the basics of Fire and Blood before in a previous short stories, but now that you get all this detail, it really makes it. It's what really puts it all together. It's why you fall in love with the story. It's like it actually happened somewhere, in the 1500s, and on a planet right over there or something,
Exactly.
or even Europe, or
Yeah.
whatever. So hopefully, who was it asked? Hopefully he's still in here. I hope didn't wait too late. Or see it too late. What's up, Muse? Anyway, let's see here. Damn it. All right, so I don't see the name anymore, but we'll see. Randy Sumatsu, thank you, Randy, on Patreon. The BU Sansa and Arya took on their look. The Jon Snow guy had the voice down pat. They did. They really did. You could almost.
Agreed.
And here's what I'll say, Randy, about the way I edited those and put in, because I didn't want to put in screenshot after screenshot or anything. I just did some locations because I didn't want I didn't put any pictures of actors because I wanted you to see that as them being the characters. So I would just occasionally change when they change locations. I'd put in like a King's Landing shot, or that's I didn't want to overtake it with my stuff, and you know what I mean. So I left it pretty plain the way they originally did it, but with intros and credits like a show. But I didn't want to set the scene in some cases where you see it changes back to King's Landing. So that's the reason, because I wanted them to be seen as the characters and not the show characters. If that makes any sense.
No, it does. Yeah.
The only person I actually showed was the Night King, because we've seen him. There's no actor on stage talking. So anyway, I think it worked out pretty good. Alrighty, let's see. Let me go to this. I think we're good. Thank you, D Brown. D Brown is working. Thank you so much, D Brown, for the huge dono again. Wish I wasn't working. Here's to you guys.
Hate you working.
Yeah, and I think D said she might work Super Bowl Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she because she don't want to be reminded of what happened.
Yes.
I know, D. But thank you so much, D, if you're listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I found out I've got to work Super Bowl. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I don't know about the Super. Yeah. Or is that next weekend? Are we on the 28th?
Yes, next weekend.
So yeah, I don't know.
I should be off in time.
I don't know if we're streaming or not, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Have we ever streamed on? I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
I think
either.
everybody goes to, even if you're not a fan of any team, and it's just an event. Everybody has their own parties and get-togethers. Probably won't stream anyway. I'm just guessing. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I doubt we will, just based off let everybody enjoy their night and all that kind of thing. Thank you, Yas Belk Killer, I think.
Thank you.
Yas Belk Killer for subscribing just now. Appreciate it. If you're in the chat, there it is. There's Yas Belk Killer in the chat. Thank you, man. Let's see. Ezio, Auditor, thank you, man. Q&A, if you could pick one character besides Cersei and the Night King, most likely to live, and one most likely to die, who would you pick? For me, most likely to live is Sam, and most likely to die is Jaime. Yeah, I would agree with the Sam part.
Likely to live is, Sam.
I would agree with the Jaime part, too, because I'm so set on him being in the White Book that he has to die for that, you know? I don't know, though. They could change the rules and write down what he actually did with being alive.
Yeah, I think they could too.
So that's true. They could do that. So I agree with your picks actually, but I'll just throw out a couple different ones for fun. I would pick Davos to live
Could see that.
and to die.
There's no reason.
Yeah, there's just no reason to kill him. I mean, they could kill anybody. I'll pick Davos to live because I think he will get through this thing. I agree though. Sam would be my top pick. The most likely to die, other than Cersei the Night King, I gotta say Theon. I guess there's so many. I mean, like I don't know if you want to count the minor characters like Grey Worm and stuff because he's got to go.
He's gone.
But so for majors, I would say Theon. For full redemption. I don't know. I just think that makes sense.
And for likely to live, you've picked Bronn before, correct?
I have as one of the likely. I think he will make and get a cast.
That's what I was thinking.
Tyrion, I've also picked before. I think he does sip on Imp's Delight.
No, too.
I don't buy the Tyrion betrayal thing. Maybe I guess there's ways it could be.
I don't
it could
buy
be done.
that. No.
But yeah, lost audio. Who we did? Joe Justo saying we lost audio. Try to refresh, man, if you can. Are we? Never mind. He said never mind. Okay. I was gonna say I still see everything working. We're good. There's no issues. I think we figured out our internet issue, man. We hadn't had any issues since we.
Oh, you definitely figured it out.
Which is very odd.
I've already given that.
I don't know
advice
any
to other
technical.
people.
I don't know any technical stuff behind that. Because they literally come in the same box.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Travis Michael, thank you, Travis, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Chris and James, I never get to join streams anymore because of work schedules, but I catch up on all your videos whenever I have free time. Love you guys. Thank you so much,
love you
Michael.
too.
Travis Michael, appreciate it, man. I know I hate that we have to do these a little bit late, but it's the time slot.
That's right.
It's a time slot for the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need to do some earlier stuff sometime, especially for some people in Europe that have yelled at me. And I understand, but it's the time slot, And apparently that may be a problem this year because I think somebody told me in the UK that they're coming out the next day.
Oh my
Or
gosh.
something. I'm not really sure what's going on. Fractured or somebody, if you know what's going on with that, let me know. I would hate for people not to be able to join streams
I
to get
would,
spoiled, and that sucks. It should come out at the same damn time. I know it'd be different times, but also Slope, thank you Slope for the $5 super chat as well.
Thank you so much.
Because I'm still working to have this on in the background for entertainment. Thank you Slope, man, appreciate it. Really do. Hate everybody has to work on Sunday nights. Anyway, let's see. Did we ever find out what? Let's see. Jan says it's 7 in Norway. Damn, that's some dedication. Jan Gunner.
Thank you so very much.
I know. I have a lot of people yelled at me like, "Can you do earlier streams for us in the UK and stuff like that, or later, or whatever it is, to get the time in a more reasonable." But yeah, it's just a time slot for the show here, Electrode, there you are. Electrode, I just literally answered your question about
did.
Alice saying. Let me see if I got that right, because she said I did. Stannis sent Alice Mormont to Castle Black with Justin Massey. Do you think she will play a serious part in the Winds of Winter? So yeah, Electrode. Damn, we'll have to repeat all that. I want to make sure Electrode knew I saw the question. I wanted to get those different questions. Electrode, okay, let me summarize. In general, I think Alysanne will not be a major character, but I think it kind of gets Asha / Yara back on path with the Euron storyline that will come, obviously, kind of similar to the show, because they did kind of bond, and she saved Asha from being burned, and all that stuff. Again, she's with Asha, guarding her on the march to Winterfell with Stannis. And then I think she could be the revelation that Jane Poole is not Arya Stark, is what I was saying. Essentially. I threw in a little more things, but that's essentially what I said. So if you think that's big, It is. If it's kind of minor, I think it's more minor. But anyway, that's essentially what I said. Electrode. So hopefully that covers it. If not, you can rewatch the stream. And it was a little bit longer, but that's essentially what I said.
Yeah, back it up about 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. About 10 minutes ago, yeah. K-Dubs, love you too, man. Have a good one. Good night.
Good night, brother.
Appreciate you hanging out as usual, man. Go grade those papers. Or are you off tomorrow? I thought he was off. Didn't he say he was off? Or you said he was off? Or got to stay up
we
or
were
something a little
guessing.
later?
I was guessing he was off, yeah.
All right, K-Dubs. Yeah, Electrode. Anyway, thank you, man. I was... no, that's fine. I wanted to get... I like these other questions that are a little different. We get a lot of the same ones, obviously. So
Yes.
I know it's more of a book answer, but hopefully most people didn't understood what I was saying. I was adding some things like Alisane, how she was named after the good Queen Alisane and all that kind of history there. But how Mormonts are and all that good stuff. So really cool character. She's a badass. Let's see. Yeah, Ungoliant, Electro. It was literally the first question when we came back because I saw it during the break and I wanted to grab it. Ungoliant, thank you, Ungoliant. Q&A, like Germ does with prophecy, do you believe legends in Ice and Fire teach something about the present, such as the stories told by Bran and the Reeds, like the Rat Cook foreshadows the Red Wedding? Absolutely. I think that's what they're for.
Me too.
I absolutely think that's what they're for. I think that's George R. R. Martin's tool, one of his tools for paralleling a current thing instead of just having somebody like rattle off some history in dialogue, which don't make a lot of sense unless you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Nobody sits around and talks about history a lot, But in certain situations like the Tywin Arya situation, it makes sense. They were talking about in the situation it fit, but you can't do that all the time. So you got to have some other mystery prophecy type things, which does seem to line up with current events. So yes. Zach Reimer, biggest part the Crips could play. Escape, Zach. Escape. That's what they'll play.
Indeed.
I'm not one that buys into the Kings of Winter rising up from the dead type thing because they're literally dust. Alex Kirk got Q&A. What if season 8 had 2 endings, not just one? Ooh. What do you mean, like an alternate? I don't know if I would like that, man. I think you got to go just have the balls to stick with what you got.
I think so too.
I wouldn't like having either or, man.
Yeah, even if you liked one.
Exactly. Even if you liked one, you can't just pick that one at that point and say, well, that's the ending. Well, that's my ending. Well, I like the other one better. No, you got to have an ending. So, no, don't do it. Please don't do that. Thank you, Lorado Selene, for subscribing also, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, so it's like those, it's kind of like, look, if you're going to finish it and just have the balls to do it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If you don't like it, we don't like it. But don't give us like, just in case, guys, you don't like this one, we want to be sure to film another one.
Right.
Just in case.
Now that's some fan service right there.
That would be horrible fan service. Whatever you do, just own it. You know what I mean? That's all I mean. Joe Justo, I wish Jon's name was Jaehaerys Targaryen, third of his name. Yeah, I like the idea of Jaehaerys because he was the conciliator, the good king, and all that stuff. I like that. I called it was going to be Aegon, but to parallel Aegon, the actual conqueror.
Yeah.
But I also liked Aemon. He pretended to be Aemon the Dragon Knight. In the yards of Winterfell when he was a kid fighting with Robb, and I thought it'd been cool for him to actually be Aemon Targaryen. So I would have been fine with any of them, but I knew Aegon was coming. I just had a feeling. I called it. I tried to read her lips. In season 6, I tried to read her lips before we got the full answer, where Bran actually heard it that time. So I was like, I think he said Aegon, man. I didn't see a J in there.
I wish people could
what I
see
mean?
stuff like that when this gets paused and walk right up to the screen looking and everything.
Yeah, that's true. I do.
We've done it so many times.
I do. That's like I gotta try to figure it out. I gotta try to see it. So everybody tried to rip lead. Everybody tried to rip lead.
Rip lead, believe it or not.
That's what I was thinking too. What? Wow, look at Mazuma, Natalie. Look at Mazuma with a fan club, bunk beds and all. Mazuma's got a fan club? Oh, shit. I'm in Mazuma's fan club. I'm a fan of Mazuma.
Oh,
Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I like to punch him in the face. But, but other times. Oh, shit.
So high altitude CPAP.
Oh, Lord. I'm still picturing fucking the shade.
Me too. That's funny as hell.
I sneak in there and shade your ass with your CPAP hose.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and let James do the rest of the stream. My jaw hurts, my throat's dry.
All right, here we go. For Monkey Mail Dog.
James is gonna answer all the questions.
Q&A. Kind of in the books, aren't the crypts of Winterfell collapsed?
Yes.
How will they flee?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. I mean, they got to move some rubble. I think they keep bringing up that part. There's a collapsed section you can't get through. They're gonna have to move some rubble down there. They're gonna do some work.
That's right.
I think it's gonna reveal something, and it's gonna be these old tunnels to get the hell up out of there. Even Bran knows how to get around Winterfell.
That's right. Yeah, he
in
does.
the walls of Winterfell.
Exactly.
So if you can go through the walls, like in the middle of walls and run around, he knows all these little things as a little kid running around. So Bran may call back on some of that too. I don't know about the crypts, but he knows some passages through that place. So he could recall some of that in the books or the show.
Here's one from Pretty Pink MMA. Was it ever explained what is special about Targaryen blood? Is it like warging but with dragons? Does it make you mentally unstable, or do they just have hereditary mental illness?
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Read that again. I'm sorry to make sure.
Was it ever explained what is special about Targaryen blood? Is it like warging but with dragons? Does it make you mentally unstable, or do they just have hereditary mental illness?
Yeah, so it's not explicitly explained. There's really no known. It's the dragon bonding thing is just like the Starks with warging or skin changing, or First Men. So it's not explicitly explained. It's theorized upon and guessed upon, but no maester can really answer the question of why somebody can bond with a dragon. But all we know is it means it's a DNA thing, just like the Starks. So. The mental illness, though, comes from inbreeding. So the idea was to keep, Valyrians tried to keep their looks, but it was less about looks and more about dragon bonding at that time. So they knew they had to keep their bloodline pure to keep the power in Westeros, or even after, or once they finally got to Westeros, even in Old Valyria, but when they ruled there before the 14 Flames blew them all up. So the few families that survived that, which was Targaryens, Valyrians, who were also allies, they wanted to keep the looks. They were looked upon almost as gods because they didn't get sick and shit. A few of them did. It was very weird, but they don't get sick and shit. They have affinity for heat and all that stuff. But it's never explicitly explained, and I think it should remain that way. We just need to know that it's some kind of blood bond. It's whether it's magical or DNA. Magic based, whatever. We don't need the details of that, so we don't get it.
Gotcha.
I hope that makes sense.
Perfect sense. Yeah.
So but anyway, I was saying the mental illness that comes from all the interbreeding. So they have it's like a joke in Westeros when a Targaryen was born back in the day. You flip a coin, either crazy or good. That comes from incest, and of course they don't know that stuff in those days, so they don't think about the consequences of all the inbreeding over the years. But every once in a while, a special dragon's born, like Dany, or something. So anyway, that's my thoughts.
Here's one from Amanda David. It says, Q&A, how do you see the series ending for Jorah? Does he sacrifice himself for Dany? Does he execute his father's last wish and join the new Night's Watch and become the 1,000th Lord Commander?
I like the idea of the sacrifice better.
Me too.
Because I don't like that I don't think there'll be a Night's Watch.
No, I don't see it.
If there's a Night's Watch at the end of this, it makes no sense unless they just believe there's maybe some other threat looming they don't know about, so they just in case type thing. But if you don't kill the Night King, this story's not finished. No. It's just a cycle that goes on forever. No problem, Pretty in Pink. Or Pretty Pink, that's Pretty in Pink. Pretty Pink MMA, no problem. But yeah, I just don't like the idea of this thing having a Night's Watch at the end. It don't make any sense. It's just, if you keep going with cycles, there's no breaking the wheel, and it never really ends. And there's always that like you finish reading the books or watching the show, and there'll be that itch in the back of your head forever.
It's not supposed to be there.
It's not supposed to be there. Like, it could happen again, and maybe there'll be a sequel. No, we don't want a sequel. Just finish it, you know.
Here was one I was getting ready to read you. This is Taryn grabbed it from The Sword in the Darkness. Do you think John will have some issues when he finds out the man he trusted most in the world, Ned Stark, lied to him his entire life?
Yeah. There'll be that initial, oh, what? You
Yeah.
didn't tell me this. You let me live as a bastard.
It's going to be harder for him than it is when, like Chris answered,
Yes.
the other Stark kids finding out.
Yes,
You know, it's going to be harder on John. It's going to be very personal.
absolutely, because he didn't attend. He couldn't sit at the table with them.
Right.
You know, I mean, he did. He, like in the books, he was in the room, but he was in the back of the table. For example, when Robert came, back of the room. I mean,
Yeah.
So he lived this life, and his big thing of glory was going to the Night's Watch, where they don't care what you are, you know, and he hates it there. It's horrible. He blamed Ned even then for not telling him what it really was, you know, and Tyrion told him straight up what it is and warned him about it. And was Ned going to really tell me, you know, was he going to tell me about my parentage? He promised to talk to me. What was he going to say if we did talk? You know, so there's going to be all that initially, and he's going to be down there literally speaking to Ned's statue in the show, I think. I'm pretty sure, before, assuming he finds out before the Night King comes, if he even has time. That's the part I would hate. Mm-hmm. If he don't find out and have time to process that shit before the Night King comes to Winterfell, and they have to fight and get the hell out of Dodge.
Amanda David.
Thank you. I'm sorry, really quick. Shona Luis, Amelia, I believe. All hugs and kisses to you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hugs
so
and
very
kisses
much.
to you.
I see Amanda David talking to Sandra. Says, remember during the last long night a deal was made. There was no victory. I would not count on pure victory now either. We may still need a Night's Watch for the future. Yeah, we know that's a possibility.
Oh, yeah.
That a lot of people think that there's a chance that there'll be a Night's Watch at the end, but you know, hopefully we explained it a second ago. Like, you don't want to be left with that feeling of, oh, this is just the same.
Yeah,
thing.
there's another possibility they come back again, because it won't give you a clear answer of why now. If they can just keep coming back, there's nothing special about John right now.
That's right.
There's nothing special about Dany right now. It's just like, okay, occasionally they decide to fuck with man because whatever you think that whatever pact is broken in some way, whether it's people north of the wall or they're not giving us enough babies because we just want to live up here by ourselves. No, they don't want to live up there as demons. Mm-hmm. That man remembers who he was. You know, he don't want to live like that. So it don't make any sense if it comes to an idea of a pact again where they just want to be left alone up north in their own little ice castle. It's just dumb to me, because then Dany doesn't matter right now. John doesn't matter. Only at this time do they matter. So then 8,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 more years, there's another. It's the same story again. You know,
Yeah.
it's nothing changes. So that's my thoughts on it. Let's see. Muse Q&A. Who and what will be Dany's third betrayal? John is a Targaryen and a Stark, just like Theon being a Greyjoy and a Stark. Yeah, so I think that was key right there when John told him that.
Yep.
Is like, you don't have to choose, you are both. So what are you still doing here? Go save your sister. As far as her third betrayal, I don't know. I thought about talking about maybe in a separate video, like her third. I think the third fire and betrayal and all that will be the same event, and I think that may be to save Westeros. It's more of a book thing. They never talked about the House of the Undying visions. That they were completely different, obviously. So her third betrayal. Remember, it doesn't have to be somebody necessarily betraying her. It could be her betraying herself in the sense of she thinks she's going to be queen, but she does something different to save Westeros instead. So keep that in mind when you start thinking about what could be the third betrayal, the third mount, the third fire. I think it'll all be the same thing to save Westeros. The third fire is a big one to me. That's actually the video I was thinking about. Like the second fire, the first one's was for life, which was the dragons. The second one was for, the third one's gonna be for love. It's the second was the cause in the show. They did that, so that'll be probably the same in the books. The third one's going to be to save Westeros or something, like something big, obviously. So
here's a good one from Ungoliant. Q&A, where do you think the wildlings came from? There's no way they could have survived a long night, so how did they get there after the wall was built?
Yeah,
I think you're left to assume they did survive the long night.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's just it's like the long night happened. There were people scattered everywhere. Some figured out a way to hunker down and survive it, staying warm enough or whatever. And then they built a wall, and they were just on the wrong or the right side, whichever way you look at it. They were just separated. So the wildlings were initially not wildlings. They were just first men. Some people, it wasn't necessarily in houses or whatever. Starks came from those people. Mormonts came from those people. Karstarks, all the rest. And some were just lowborn or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But as the system came up as they were the lowborn. So you just have to assume that some didn't make it, because otherwise, it's people that ventured north of the wall and stayed there.
Yeah, Usurf says in the past it might have been a penal colony.
Hey, yeah.
Sent them up there.
Well, and here's the thing. People do, it's not like the wildlings are completely cut off. People go to Hardhome and stuff and trade, in the books. So people go to Hardhome and trade stuff there and drop shit off.
That's cool.
They get supplies, it's not like they're completely cut off, but they just don't bend the rules. So they just kind of, you have to assume that, yes, some people obviously survived the long night. Otherwise, we wouldn't even have a story. It wasn't cold enough in all places, obviously, wherever. So they figured something out. Somebody did. Let's see. Let me move that again. Thank you, Dominic Martino. Appreciate the $5 donation through Streamlabs. Outside theory. Jaime sacrifices himself, killing the Night King. Once again, he would live up to his Kingslayer name, and by saving the world, basically, would be doing one of the few things that could cleanse his name/honor. Thanks for the great show, guys. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people like Jaime as this Azor Ahai savior figure. Mm-hmm. My only problem with it being Jaime is that it's not Jon. And it's not that I'm some Jon fanboy. It's not about that. It's about
the story.
Yeah. If his blood is important, then it needs to be used. Otherwise, there's no point in RLJ. And if his dad was Rhaegar and mom's Lyanna and he's the heir, that in itself is not enough to be the Song of Ice and Fire to me.
Right.
There's a reason it's happening now, and the reason the Night King's come back now, and it takes away from Jon. But again, Jaime is a good candidate because, again, we talked about before in here. I won't go into it here again in detail, but the Weirwood dream, I talked about that before. Where he does see Rhaegar in this dream, and you didn't protect your king and all this stuff, but it alludes to Jon, not the Mad King, because Rhaegar was going to overthrow the Mad King, his own father. So anyway, I mean, it's one of those things where he's leading you in several different places about this Azor Ahai figure, and again, that's why I say it's everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody working together, whether you're a Lannister, a Stark, a Targaryen, whatever. You got to work together, but at some point, you still have to be. Jon has to be the key. Otherwise, there's no point in a Stark and Targaryen child. Ice and Fire kid. All right, so what is it? 117. All right, so let's grab maybe one more, two, whatever, and we'll get out of here. It's past our stream time, our bedtime. Ryan Harn. Any chance Jon survives this last season? I think it's certainly possible and fine for him to survive. He's already died.
Yeah.
There's no, and as a matter of fact, it's more plausible that he survives and everybody else dies and he's left kind of lonely without Dany. That makes more sense for a bittersweet type thing where he saves the place and dies, or he dies inside. Is that, you know what I'm saying? He dies inside, but he's kind of stuck and he's all alone. And he's the king, but it doesn't matter because his love's gone, and hopefully he has his child at least. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's perfectly reasonable for him to survive. But you could look and see that, well, Beric, he was the foreshadowing for that. He died in the books, still around the show, obviously, but he could. But I think he makes it.
Rogue Pixie says, "How do you think the Burning Hand vision scene between Jojen and Bran will play out?"
that is actually Rogue already played out. That was Jojen seeing his own death. And remember, it's a little different. Show version, he saw his hand burning, and the payoff for that was when they reached the cave and Leaf, the other Leaf, before they changed the look.
Yeah.
Little Leaf,
Little
we'll
Leaf.
say Leaf the First, through the Roman candle.
A few of those.
No, I hate when they change that.
too.
I mean, I like the new look better, I guess,
Oh,
kind of,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they changed. But I hated the mountains
The Roman
changing all the
candle.
time. But she threw the Roman candle, as I always called him, and burned Jojen up after he got stabbed, killing him and making sure he didn't come back. So yeah, that was the payoff for that. He was seeing his own demise. He knew he was going to die before he got there, and Bloodraven even said that. He knew what was going to happen before he left. So he was just having a vision of the tree, exactly what it looked like, and that, yep, he's going to definitely die. Yeah, there you go, Terry T. Leaflet. Leaflet. The first. Let's see. All right. Let me double check this really quick before we get out of here. Let me refresh it. Thank you, Sean Payne, by the way, for subbing. Thank you. Let's see, is that Ablay, I believe? Ablay for subscribing as well.
Thank you.
And I think I said Lorado earlier, I believe, but thank you again if I did. All right, so we're good on Patreon. We're good. I think make sure I didn't miss any super chats or anything like that.
This is such a different feeling than last season because I'm so amped for it to start, but I
Yes.
know once it does, this is it.
It's over.
It's so different.
I mean, there's going to be prequels, and we're going to do other stuff here and all that on the channel, and we'll definitely talk about the prequel. But damn, it's the main story.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Star Wars. You know, you want to see the main. I mean, you kind of do now. You want to see it right.
Yeah.
They're decent. The main story and all the side movies are cool.
Exactly.
But they're not the main story. You know. Anyway, so yeah, it's very bittersweet. Let's see. Super chat. Stephen Urkel. Thank you, Stephen Urkel,
Thank you.
for the $4.99. That's an iOS super chat, I can tell. I do not know why Apple does
So
that.
strange.
I've done it myself, and I don't get it. Thank you, man. What's special about John? What about him enables him to slay the Night King? He's got special blood, but what does it make him? But what about it makes him able to kill him? Well, I don't know that it makes him able to physically kill him. I'm just saying his blood is needed for something.
Yes. Definitely.
That's all I mean. I don't mean that necessarily John can walk up to him like nobody else can
Yeah, we've talked about that. Walk up and just.
and yanking
Yeah.
pulling his little shirt down, his cute armor that changed throughout 7 seasons, and pulling the dragon glass out of his chest. I'm not saying that necessarily. I'm just saying something. His blood's got to do something to enable something like that to happen. Is all I
Yes.
mean. So, people, let's talk about the Jamie thing. So Jamie could be the one to do the
Sure.
actual killing as long as John's blood enables that. Is all I mean.
That's right.
That's all I mean. All I'm saying is there's no point to the first full-blooded Targaryen / Stark child. Now, we've had a bunch of near misses. Blackwoods and all that kind of stuff. We talk about Bloodraven, and all those. But he is the first one, and there's no point in that if his blood, his DNA, is not doing something special, magic-y, as we call it around here.
It's got to.
So that's all we're saying. Yeah, I'm not saying he has to be the one to like one-on-one him, and cut him down with something that may not even work, because it probably won't work. Valyrian steel is what I'm saying. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. I'm not saying necessarily be the one to kill him, but his blood, whether it's a sacrifice or whether it's feeding a werewood tree, we talked about the possibility of that. Him being able to destroy the source of magic, I don't know, but something to do with his DNA, enabling him to do something special or allowing that to be done. Okay, all right. Last one here, and we'll get out of here. Ryan Harn, thank you, Ryan, from the regular chat here. What do you think happens with the Golden Company? I think they will absolutely break their first contract and join Team Dany Targaryen. Yeah, they did Blackfire in the books and all that stuff, sure, but show-wise, they will definitely, because they're telling us all the time they've never broken a contract, book and show.
Yeah.
They will. That means they're going to absolutely break a contract. So they will do the right thing and join Dany's side or Jon's side, Targaryen side, the side of the living is what I'm saying.
That's right.
And I think Varys could play a role in that. Jorah could play a role in that, or both. That could give Varys something big to do in season 8. That's what I was saying before. You know, reaching out secretly like he did with Olenna and all that stuff. Okay, we'll grab this last one really quick. Thank you, Taryn, for grabbing it from Princess Scarlet. What will Jon and Dany's child look like? More Northern, more Valyrian, or a combination of the two? Technically, Princess Scarlet, it should look just more Northern. Targaryen traits are recessive.
Yes.
That's why they
Look
wanted
at Jon.
Exactly. Jon is your perfect example. He is the perfect mix, but he still looks like Ned, which is a proxy for Lyanna. Arya is the proxy for Lyanna with that whole thing. Anyway, yes, the seed is strong holds true. Targaryen traits are recessive. If you look in history, when they married inside the family, sister to brother or whatever, they were typically silver-haired, purple eyes. When they married, other families like Hightowers and all that stuff, typically the children were, on occasion, they were still Targaryen looking with the hair, but more often than not, they were looked like the outside family. Does that make sense? They brown hair or whatever, they might have a little bit of mix there. So you could go. I mean, it could be a coin toss. It could have a little both brown hair and purple eyes.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I would say more Northern. But it's still a Targaryen child. It's not like I don't like the idea that their child is the savior in some way. It takes away from Jon being the first one.
That's right.
Don't make any sense. So that's the general idea, is that Targaryen traits are recessive. It's heavily implied. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good here, and I think we're good here. Let me triple check. All right. Also, so we're getting out of here, but remember, everybody, ProtoCon is coming. The links are all in every description. I believe the link is I think I put it in here. Have I not? Pretty sure.
Think so, yeah.
Pretty sure I did. Let me check. Wait a minute. Maybe I know I did. It's in every video. If it's not in this video. Okay, I don't see it. I know Nightbot spits it out. Anyway, I will make sure to add that if I didn't. Maybe I didn't in here. It's in every video, regular video description. The link to register for ProtoCon. Again, if you don't know, if you're new here or just popping in, it's our little get-together mini-con we're having in August, meet and greet here locally. So that is coming. This will be actually this shirt. You can buy these now actually to support that as well on the Teespring store.
Very cool shirt.
We're gonna have, this is one that's going to be it will come with the registration and a little goodie bag, except it'll have actually ProtoCon stuff on it. So it'll be kind of a one of a kind. But that is coming. So any link, there you go. Nightbot spitting it out now. But it's Eventbrite. You can register there anytime, and we're gonna go forward with that. So if you're interested in that and hanging out and having a little weekend of talking got and all kinds of shit with us and a few other people, maybe
a little face to face.
Maybe we'll have a little some surprise guests. I don't know. We'll see.
We're working on it.
We'll see. But yeah, think about joining, registering for that. And I think and then tomorrow,
Jason Momoa is hard to pin down.
he is
But he's on the fence.
Jason Momoa. Damn, man, you just. Hey, look, I actually did reach out to Jason Momoa. He won't return my calls. Anyway, so yes, I was going to say. Oh yes, tomorrow I believe. What?
Proto-Seal.
Shit, we can put that in the goodie bags.
That's cool. Yes.
Vagisil.
Yes.
Vagisil in the goodie bags. That's coming. Anyway. Joe, Jason Momoa is everyone's type. He's my man crush. I'm just telling you, he is. He's a cool dude. And man, Ozzy man got to interview him. That bastard.
It was a great interview too.
It was. That was cool. Tomorrow I believe Val should be done editing. She may be now. I don't know. We'll find out. And they should be coming out tomorrow. Our next set of predictions. These are long. Mine's like 29 minutes, 30 minutes. So mine is Arya Stark, and on her channel will be Sansa Stark. We did the Stark sisters, so look for that tomorrow. Marty, hubby just farted on me. That is love. It is. It absolutely
love.
is. Yes. There we go, Doc Connie. Vagisil inserts. That will be the goodie bag.
Hell yeah.
We'll have a bag in it. The bag will be cool, but it's just Vagisil inserts. Breath fresheners. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate all the subscriptions, donations, super chats, and questions. Enjoy these. We have a blast every damn Sunday, even when we're dragging around here going, oh, damn. But we love hanging out with you guys. So thank you, mods. Appreciate all your help and grabbing questions and, all that good stuff as well. Thank you all. Let me move this before I do that. Yeah. I always got to get stuck. So, yes, thank you all. I love you all. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you
next time.
Cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life, but perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our King.